perpendicular to the plane of the drawing, passing through the intersection point of the two rods. So that moment of inertia will be written as moment of inertia of one rod into twice.
K is equal to A1, A2 by A3 is equal to 3 by 2.
Y negative, Z negative, keeping same magnitude as you are getting here.
Hello, dear students. My name is Vikas Agarwal, and I'm here to discuss the physics section of JMMT-05. Let's begin. So the first question says, in a photoelectric effect, the photocurrent is proportional to the intensity of the incident radiation. Now, this is not true. The photocurrent is not proportional to the, sorry. The photocurrent is proportional to the intensity of the incident radiation. So that is true. If we try to increase the intensity, the photocurrent will definitely increase. So this is correct. Maximum kinetic energy with which photoelectrons are emitted depends on the intensity. This is wrong. It depends only on the energy of a photon. So maximum kinetic energy with which photoelectrons are emitted depends on the frequency. This is correct. The emission of photoelectrons require a minimum threshold intensity. That is wrong. It doesn't require a minimum threshold frequency. It requires a minimum threshold of frequency. Maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectron is independent of the frequency. Again, this is wrong. So out of these five statements, only A and C are correct. So option B would be the right one here. So let's see. Option B is the given answer. So that would be the right statement. Next, we go to question number two of physics, which says that there is a statement assertion, there is a reason. We have to figure out whether they hold for each other or not. So, electromagnets are made of soft iron. Now, that is true. In electromagnet, we would want that as we pass current through the electromagnet, it should start behaving as a magnet, and that too a very strong one. And when we switch off the current, the magnetism of the material or the magnetism of the electromagnet, we should lose it very quickly. That means it shouldn't have a very high retentivity. So yes, electromagnets are made of soft iron, and the reason is that it has high permeability. So high permeability ensures that for a given amount of current, more magnetic field gets produced, the stronger magnetic field gets produced. And low retentivity ensures that as soon as the current is switched off, the electromagnet ceases to behave like a magnet, and thereby it helps us. All right. So the most appropriate answer would be that both are correct, and R is the correct explanation of option A. So option B would be the right one. Okay. Next, we go to question number three. It says equivalent resistance between A and B shown in the figure. So, guys, in this circuit, three resistances are shown. We have to find out the equivalent resistance among the three. So, these three are connected parallelly. If you can realize it by looking at the circuit, well and good, you can directly find out the answer. If you are not convinced, let's do one thing. Let's distribute the potential. Let's say that the potential of point A is 100 volt. 100, I'm just choosing arbitrarily. You can choose any number you want. So, if this point is at 100 volt, then all these points will be at 100 volt, and I will mark the points which are at same potential in the same color. So all these points are at 100 volt. Okay, now let me mark the points which are at zero potential, maybe in yellow color. I'm choosing the potential of B as zero. All right, so let it be. So all these points are at zero. Those of you, if you have any reservations regarding how can we assume this to be zero and this to be 100, you may choose it to be as VA and VB. What I'm trying to figure out is only this, that the 20 kilo ohm resistor on one side it has VA and other side it has VB voltage. Similarly, this other 20 k ohm resistance, it has on one side VV resistance, on the other side VA resistance, and that is true even for this 10 kilo ohm resistor. So all the three resistors, the 10 kilo ohm, the 20 kilo ohm, and the other 20 kilo ohm, all of their one ends are at the same potential, which is actually VA, and all of their other end are at the same potential, which is VB. So therefore, the circuit can be redrawn like this, and it is clearly evident here that the three are connected parallelly, and therefore the parallel combination of 20 and 20 will become 10, and then the combination of 10 and 10 will become 5. So 5 kilo ohm would be the right answer. All right. So for question number three, option A would be the right answer. Next, we move to question number four. It says area under velocity time graph gives the distance traveled by a body. Now, this is wrong. It should be displacement to make it right now because it is distance, so the statement is wrong. Okay, area under the acceleration time graph is equal to the change in velocity. This is correct. So this is correct. This is wrong. So statement one is false. Statement one is incorrect, and statement two is correct. So option B would be the right answer here. All right. Okay, next, the orbital angular momentum of a satellite is L when it is revolving in a in a circular orbit at height h above the Earth's surface. So let's say this is Earth, the radius maybe is r, or maybe let me write the radius of the Earth as capital R. At a height h, some satellite is going. Okay, let this distance be small r. Okay, and the question says that the angular momentum is L. Now, angular momentum is given by mvr, where r is the radius of the orbit. Also, V is given as root gm by r. So you can clearly see here that angular momentum is m into root gm divided by, into root of r. Okay, so that is what will be the formula. So we can clearly see here that if we take the satellite to another orbit, the radius of which is r prime, then the angular momentum, all right, the angular momentum there can be written as L prime by L is equals to root of r prime by r. Now the question says that the the distance of the satellite from the Earth center, that means the radius of the orbit, okay, that means the radius of the orbit is increased by 8 times its initial value. So we have increased it by 8 times of the initial value. So the difference is 8 times of R. So the final value of R would be R plus 8R, that would be 9R. And if I put this here, all right, if I substitute this value here, so this becomes root of 9R by R, that is root 9. So that is 3 times. So the new angular momentum would be 3 times the previous one. So 3A, option A would be the right answer here. Okay, so that was option A. Now we go to question number 56. It says for a particle P revolving around the circle, around the revolving round the center O with the radius of the circular path R, the angular velocity omega is shown in the figure. The projection OP, okay, the projection OP on the x-axis. So we are trying to talk about this projection, OP projection. Okay, so or basically we are trying to find out the x coordinate of point P. That's what we are trying to find out. So the x coordinate of point P will simply, we see after time t, this point will move here, and this angle, okay, this angle will become omega t. All right, this angle will become omega t. So this entire angle will become omega t plus 30 degree or omega t plus 5/6. So we will write r, whatever is cos of omega t plus 5/6, and that is simply the answer. So r cos omega t plus 5/6, option B would be the right answer here. Okay, very simple question. They were just asking the projection, so that is very easy. Now, a system of two identical rods, each of mass m and length L, are resting on the peg P to create an L-shaped structure as shown in the figure. Okay, if the system is displaced and explained by small angle, find. Now, guys, this is a question based on the concept of physical pendulum. For a physical pendulum, the omega is written as root mgl by I. Here L indicates the distance of center of mass from the axis. So this rod will have its center of mass at the midpoint. This rod will have its center of mass at the midpoint. So this system will have its center of mass here. All right. And not only that, if you pay attention, or it's finally we can figure it out that this distance would be L by 2, and therefore this distance or the value of L that we have to substitute here. Let me write it as LCM. This LCM will actually be L by 2 cos 45, or in other words, it would be L upon 2 root 2. Now, as far as moment of inertia is concerned, we are trying to find out moment of inertia about this axis, about an axis perpendicular to the plane of the drawing, passing through the intersection point of the two rods. So that moment of inertia will be written as moment of inertia of one rod into twice. So there it becomes I. So from here we can very readily calculate the value of omega. That will become mass. Mass is 2m. The mass here is the mass of the entire object into g into L upon 2 root 2 divided by it would be 2m L square by 3. So when we finish this calculation, let's finish this calculation actually. So the 2m and the 2m gets cancelled. One L will get cancelled. And apart from that, I don't think anything is getting cancelled. So it will become 3g upon 2 root 2L. So that is the value of omega. And therefore, the time period would be 2 pi by omega. That means 2 pi under root of root 2 root 2L by 3g. So let's look for an option like this. I think option B matches. So option B would be the right one here. Okay, so that was question number 7 of physics. Now we go to question number 8. It says, in a resonance column experiment, the first resonance is observed when the level of the water is 20 centimeters from the open. Now, a resonance column experiment comprises of a cylinder in which we have filled water. Okay, and this portion, the remaining portion, behaves as a organ pipe which is closed from one end and open at the other end. So the minimum length for which the resonance take place is it's lambda by 4, or it's half the loop length, and this value is given to us. This value is given to us as 20 centimeter. Now, next time when the resonance happens, then the we are able to accommodate one more loop. That means when the length increases by lambda by 2, so the next value for which the resonance will take place will be 20 plus 2 times of 20, that is 60. The value after this, where the resonance will take place, will be 60 plus again 2 times of 20, that is 100. So every time you just keep on adding 40 centimeters. So out of these given values, we are looking for 60 centimeters on the opponent. So option B would be the right answer here. Okay. Next, we come to question number 59. It says a particle is projected with the velocity v naught along the x-axis. A damping force is acting on the particle, which is proportional to the square of the distance from the origin. So it's very simple actually. Ma is given as minus alpha x square. A can be written as v dv by dx. So this becomes minus alpha x square. Next, we can write m v dv is equals to minus alpha x square dx. Now, why am I doing all these things? It is clearly visible that acceleration varies with x. So acceleration is not constant. So I cannot use s equal to ut plus half at square or v square equal to u square plus 2s or similar equation. So I have to resort to integration now. So when I integrate both sides, so I get mv square by 2 is equals to minus alpha x cube by 3. Now, when the value of uh, you know uh, when the value of x was 0, or the speed was v naught, okay, at that instant the value of x was 0 for a particular square of the distance from the origin, the distance at which the particle stops. Okay, so we are assuming here that the particle has been projected from the origin. Okay, we have got no choice but to do that. And when finally the particle stops, let the x coordinate be x. Okay, and this x will be our answer. So next, I will finish the calculation. So it will become 0 minus m v naught square by 2 is equals to minus of alpha capital X cube by 3 minus 0. So from here, we can find out the value of x as 3m v naught square by 2 alpha. This entire thing raised to power 1 by 3. So let's see if we have an option like this, 3 mv naught square by 2 alpha raised to power 1 by 3. Option D matches with this, so option D would be the right answer. Okay, here we have made an assumption that the particle was projected from origin, because if we don't make that assumption, then we will not be able to solve this question. Okay, and similar situation will be there in the JEE Main exam also. So we are free to make reasonable assumptions then. Okay, now this question says a circular hole radius a by 2 is cut out from a circular disk of radius as shown in the figure. The center of mass of the remaining circular portion will be. Okay. So how do we find? So in these questions, what we do, like we assume that we have a complete disk, okay, let's say of mass density or surface mass density sigma, and over that we placed smaller disk of the desired radius which is given, and this had a negative mass. All right. Now, for some of you, this may be surprising that how come I'm talking about negative mass. So, I'm talking about a hypothetical imagination that let's assume that there is a positive mass also, there is a negative mass also, and when the two masses with the right density, when they merge into each other, we are left with nothing. It leads to annihilation. Just the two masses just destroy each other, just destroy each other, and we are left with a void, an empty space. And therefore, you can imagine that this is what we'll be left with here. If there is a complete disk of positive mass over which we have kept a disk of negative mass, then the region where the negative mass disk overlaps with the disk of positive mass, that region will become a void. That is what the question is asking us to do. So why am I doing this? So let's say the mass of the positive disk. Let me talk about that. So that will become mass per unit area into the area, which is pi, say, a square. Okay, the mass of the negative disk would be minus sigma into pi of a by 2 square. So this will become minus sigma pi a square by 4, or in other words, m negative would be 1 by 4 times, minus 1 by 4 times of m positive. So this is what we are getting. Okay. Next, realize that if I'm saying that I have a combination, or I have a composite object made up of two disks, two complete disks, one of this much mass and the other of this much mass. So the positive disk, the disk of positive mass, it has its center here. So I can say that I have a particle of mass m positive which is kept at a comma 0. Similarly, the other disk, the negative mass disk, the center of that lies here. So I can say that I have another particle of mass m negative. The coordinates of this particle of this negative mass is a plus a by 2. So that is 3a by 2 comma 0. Okay, so if I have to find the center of mass of the composite object, that is a system consisting of these two masses, I will write XCM as m positive into a plus m negative into 3a by 2, and then this entire thing divided by the total mass, which is m positive plus m negative. Okay, and now let's pull out m negative as the common quantity. So if I pull out m negative as the common quantity, in the numerator, I get m positive divided by m negative into a, then plus 3a by 2 divided by m positive upon m negative plus 1. Okay, so this is what we get. Now let's finish the calculation. So m positive divided by m negative, that ratio would be equal to minus 4. You can check it from here. This divided by this, the ratio is minus 4. So minus 4a plus 3a by 2 divided by minus 4 plus 1. So this becomes how much? This becomes um, what? Minus 8 plus 3, minus 5a by 2 divided by minus 3. So this becomes 5a by 6, as we can see here. 5a by 6 is the right answer. So, guys, if you have not done such kind of question earlier, where from a standard object we remove another standard object, so all such questions can be catered to very easily by imagining the concept of negative mass. Okay, as what we have done in this question. All right. Next, another thing to learn from this question is how I actually focused on using the ratio of the masses in this formula instead of directly substituting the value of masses. That would also have given us the same answer, substituting the value of the masses. but it makes it so much more easier if you just notice the ratio of the masses and directly work in terms of that ratio. It becomes so much like writing wise, it becomes so much easier and it saves a lot of space also. Okay, so that was the 10th question from this section. We now move to the question number 11. It says an X-ray tube is operated at 1.2 million volt, the shortest wavelength of the product produced. So guys, the accelerating voltage that we have used is 1.24 million volt. So that is 10 to the power 6 volt. Okay, so the cutoff wavelength that we get, the cutoff wavelength, it will be 1242 divided by, V accelerating. Okay, V accelerating, and we get this wavelength in nanometer. So 124, maybe 0, I can choose. There is no decimal here. Okay. So 1240 divided by accelerating potential, which is 1.24 into 10 raised to power 6, and then nanometer. Okay. So this will become what? This will become 1000 into 10 raised to power minus 6 nanometer. So this will become 10 raised to power minus 3 nanometer. So option A would be the right answer here. Okay, that was question number 61 for you. Next, we go to question number 62. Now, this question says, according to the Bohr atom model, in which of the transitions will the frequency be maximum? Now, let's try to understand this, guys. This is, let's say, the nucleus of a hydrogen atom or a hydrogen-like atom. These are the orbits. So every time an electron jumps from any higher orbit to a lower orbit, it gives out a photon. And the energy of this photon, okay, it is equal to the energy of transition. Okay, and so that is one thing that we are going to use. And next, if you remember the values, you can notice that, or that's a standard result also to remember that as we move away from the nucleus, the energy difference between two successive orbits, it goes on decreasing. For example, between the first and the two, the difference is 10.2 electron volt. Between first and second and third, this difference becomes 1.89 electron volt. Between third and fourth, this difference becomes 0.66. So the difference is going on decreasing. All right, and therefore, if we are looking for the transition with maximum frequency, or in other words, maximum energy, then we have to look for the transition that has happened closest to the nucleus. Notice that all the options given, they differ by only one. So whatever transitions we are discussing, they are just happening to the next lower orbit. Okay, so the transition which is closest to the nucleus among this is 2 to 1. So that would be the correct answer. So that will give us the most energetic photon. Okay, that was question number 62 to you. Now we come to question number 63. Now this says 1 mole of an ideal gas is allowed to expand reversibly and isothermally between A and B. Its pressure is reduced to one half. So guys, let's say the temperature at A is T, which means that the temperature at B will also be T. Actually, it is given here. Okay, and then between B and C, what we have done an isocoric cooling process until the pressure becomes half, which means that see PV equal to nRT. We kept volume constant and then we made pressure half. So that will also result in becoming the temperature half. So the temperature here was T, the temperature here was T, here it has become T by 2. Okay. Now, we want to know the total work done by the gases. Now, total work done by the gas will be given by work done in the isothermal process. So that would be nRT ln. Okay. Ln2, okay, nRT Ln2. And then during this process, the work would be zero because it's an isocoric process. And during the adiabatic compression process, negative work would be done. And how are we going to write that? We write it as plus N into R into T, or rather delta T. So the delta T here would be T by 2 minus T. So it would be T by 2. Okay. So NR delta T. And then for adiabatic process, it is like 1 minus gamma. Okay, it is 1 minus gamma. So the temperature increased, and therefore the delta T value will be T by 2. That is correct. And the denominator would be 1 minus gamma. And we can see that this will give us a negative value. We were expecting a negative value. This will give us a negative value. So the answer would be, we can take out RT as the common quantity. So it will become N ln2, and then minus of 1 upon 2 into gamma minus 1. So this looks to be the correct one. Option A is the one that looks correct. And it is indeed correct. Next, we move to question number 64. This question says that figure shows a circuit that contains four identical resistors and with resistance 2 ohm and two identical inductors with inductance 2 millihenry. Okay, an ideal battery with EMF 9 volt. The current just after. So, guys, the concept here is that right after closing the switch, any inductor will behave as it was behaving just before closing the switch. In other words, the inductors. Okay, the circuit was in this state since long. There was no like the circuit was broken, so there was no current in this inductor or this inductor. So even after closing it, the current in these two inductors continues to be zero, which basically means that the current will flow only along this path. Okay, the current will flow only along this path, and that current would be 9 divided by 2R. And R is given to us how much? It is 2 ohm. So 9 by 4. Okay, 9 by 4 ampere, and that is 2.25 ampere. So option D would be correct. Is that okay, everyone? Till this point? Okay. Let's continue now to the next question. Non-linear polyatomic ideal gas has 24 vibrational mode. What is the value of gamma? Now, gamma is given by 1 plus 2 by F, where F indicates all the degrees of freedom. Because it is a non-linear polyatomic molecule, it will have 3 translational plus 3 rotational degree, and the vibrational degrees are given as 24. We make them double before using the formula. So overall, we have 48 plus 6, 54 degrees, and therefore gamma would be 1 plus 2 by 54, or in other words 1 plus 1 upon 27. So this turns out to be 1 point mm, this will turn out to be how much? 0.03, I believe. Yeah, zero point 0. Out of the given option, I think the option A is the closest one. Okay, all right. Then now this was the original question that came in the exam, and it did not talk about uh, non-linear word was not used here, and that made the question controversial actually. Because if it's a linear molecule, then the rotational degree will only be counted as 2, not 3. Okay, now the question says an electron of mass m and photon energy E. The same. So electron has mass m and it has energy E. So we will write the ratio of the wavelength of the electron. Okay. So the lambda of electron will be written as h by p, which will be written as h divided by root 2 mk. Okay, or E maybe root 2 me. Okay. Now, to that of photon. Now, going to talk about lambda of photon that has energy E. Okay. So, how do we write energy? We write hc by lambda. Okay. Like, let me write it here. Energy is written as hc by lambda. So, lambda would be written as hc by E. And now these two are equal. So, h upon root 2m is equals to hc upon E. Okay. So, h gets cancelled, and we are looking to find out the value of, we are looking to find out this ratio actually. Oh, we are looking to find out this ratio. So this would be like this. So what happens here is that the E goes into so root of E by 2m and 1 upon C. So I guess B option looks like to be the right answer. Okay, so option B is indeed the right answer. Next, we go to question number 67. So, velocity diagram of an object with a mass 10 kg being pushed along the frictionless surface by an external force is shown. At t equal to 3 seconds, the force stops pushing and the object moves freely. Okay. It then collides head-on with another stationary object of mass 2t. Select the incorrect option. So, see, initially the velocity time graph was continuously increasing and it is a straight line. So, this graph has a constant slope and that slope is how much? 15 by 35. So, the acceleration was 5 meter per second. Okay. Now, this is a block which is moving on a frictionless surface. So if we are exerting a force F, then this F will be equal to mass into acceleration. So that is 50 Newton. So the acceleration is 50 Newton. Okay. Now the speed of the second particle just before the collision is okay. Now in 3 seconds the velocity has become 15. Okay. So we have a particle of mass 10 kg. Okay, 10 kg, and at the end of 3 seconds, it was moving with 15 meter per second. Now it's collided with something which was at rest, and after collision, the composite mass of 10 plus how much? Um, 25. Okay, so 10 plus 25 into V. Okay, so this will become 150 is equals to 35 V. Check this, is this correct? Mm, yeah. No. The question says that from the graph, it is evident that after the collision, they start moving with a velocity of 5 actually. Okay. So we know the value of V actually, it is 5. The combined mass is moving with value 5. Okay. So here we don't know about the initial velocity of this particle, let it be V. So we will actually add 25 V here also, the mass of this. So 25 V plus 150 into 10 should be equal to 35 into 5. So from here, 25 V should be equal to 135 into 5 is how much? 150, 175. 175 minus so this is 25. So the value of V is 1. So this is correct. This is correct. Before collision, both the bodies are moving in the same direction. We've got a positive value of v. Okay, we've got a positive value of v. That means that whatever direction we assume that was the correct one. So yes, they are moving in the same direction, and this becomes incorrect. So A, B, C would be the correct one here. I mean, A, B, C are the correct one. We have to go for the incorrect option. So option D will be the answer. Okay, next we go to question number 68. It says a ray is strikes. So guys, in these questions, like if this is the exit plane. Okay, this is the exit plane. So the normal on the exit plane will be along the y-axis, or you can say the j-axis. Okay, so when ray strikes a plane mirror, okay, and then if it gets reflected back, then whatever component is perpendicular to the plane mirror, only that component changes its sign and no other change takes place. All right, so the unit vector along the reflected ray would look like it would look like I cap minus j plus root 2k divided by 2. This is how the unit vector along the reflected ray would look like. So I minus j or this looks to be the correct one. See. All right, so option C is the correct one. Next, we go to question number 69. Now, guys, again, two-star system has been a very common situation in these questions. I think I have explained this earlier also. Let's say if this is the common center, this distance is R2, this distance is R1. So M2 will go in a radius of circle R2 and M1 will go in a radius of circle R1. And what about the omega? Omega is root of G M1 plus M2 by R. Okay, where R is the separation between the particles. Okay, actually R cube. Okay. So this is the omega. Now the question is asking for the period of revolution. So the period of revolution is 2 pi by omega. So it becomes root of G M1 plus M2. Okay. And root of R cube or D cube. This will become 3M. I think C option looks to be the right answer. No, not C. We are writing the period of revolution. So 2 pi will be in the numerator. Um, B option looks to be the right answer. Okay. Next, we go to question number 70. A long capillary tube with both ends open. So, guys, usually when we study about capillary, we hear or we study about system like there is a water in a container, and then we dip the capillary, and then the water rises in the capillary to a certain height h. Okay, like this. Now, how does this height gets found out, or how do we relate it? So, h is equal to it becomes like the surface tension force acting here, which we assume in the opposite direction, that is acting on the circumference of the circle. Okay, that is taken on the circumference of the circle. So T into 2 pi r is the upward force, and that force it causes this height h. Okay, and how do we know that? So T into 2 pi r, this is the upward force. This is equated. This is equated with the weight of this liquid, which has risen in the tube. So um, it becomes mg, and how much is m? M would be equal to uh, density of the liquid into h into pi r square, okay, into g. So tau will be equal to rho h r g by 2. See this? This is surface tension. Okay. So the h would be 2t. 2t by rho rg. Now, if it is open at both the ends, if the tube is open at both the ends, then a meniscus would be formed on both the sides, and whatever amount of weight, only one part was able to bear. The surface tension at these points will also be in the upward direction, so that will also bear an additional h height. So the answer here would be twice of this. Okay, so it would be 2 into tension. How much is tension? It is given to be 79 per centimeter. So I will simply write it as 70. What is the unit in which we have to find out the answer? Let's take that. Uh, okay, we have to give the answer in centimeter. Okay. We have to give the answer in centimeter. So 70 into, it will become dyne per centimeter. Okay, dyne per centimeter. So 2t into 2 divided by rho, which is 1000 into r. Okay, r is 0.2. Okay, and then g. So we need to finish this calculation. So you can see here, uh, you know, 10 raised to power minus 2 with this 10 and with 1 0. It gets cancelled. So zero point 0.2 into 100 becomes 20. Okay. Or 2 into 1 0 goes with 20. Okay. So now we are left with only 14 dyne. Uh, so we are left with 14. Okay. In fact, we could have actually converted 70 dyne per centimeter into, uh, the value of G, instead of substituting as 10, we can probably substitute it as 980 in dyne, okay, in dynes, so that the dyne gets cancelled and we get the answer. So instead of 10, so a factor of 98 will come here. So we are looking for 48 divided by 98, and this would be in meters, okay. So in centimeters, it would become. Okay, let me do this calculation again. I think I have messed up somewhere. Okay, just a minute. I'll repeat the calculation. And this time I'll keep everything in dyne and centimeters, like in the CGS units. Okay. So the answer that we are looking for is 2 times of 2T by rho RG. Okay. So 4 into the tension is given to be 70 dyne per centimeter. So we are fine with that. Okay. And then 70 dyne per centimeter. Density is 1 in CGS units. Radius is given to be zero point 0.2 centimeter. It is already in centimeters. So I will just keep it like that. And G will become 980. So this decimal we can get rid of and we can remove the 0. And so this becomes 140 about, or you can cancel this 2 and make it 2. So 2 into 70, that is near about 140 divided by 98 centimeters. So that is very close to 1.4 centimeters. So 1.4 centimeter would be the right answer. So that was question number 20 for you. Now we move to the numerical section of the test. It says the ratio of the magnetic field at the center of a current coiling coil of radius r to the magnetic field at a distance r from the center. Now, guys, if there is a coil and if it has a radius r, all right, so at a distance x from, at a distance, let's say x, okay, at a general distance, let's first talk about a general distance. At a general distance x from the center, the magnetic field, all right, the formula for magnetic field is mu naught I r square upon 2 times of r square plus x square raised to power 3 by 2. Now, the question says that we want to find out magnetic field at a distance r from the center of the coil on its axis, okay. So if I put x equals to r, it becomes mu naught I r square, mu naught I r square by 2 times, then it becomes 2r square. So 2 raised to power 3 by 2 will become 2 root 2. And then r square raised to power 3 by 2 will become r cube. So we will be left with mu naught I. This r square will get cancelled. And by 2 root 2 r. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now this is up on this point. What about the magnetic field at the center? So magnetic field at the center is given by mu naught I r, mu naught I by 2r. Again, this is very simple. You can just put x equals to 0 here. The moment you put x equals to 0, you get the value of B at center. Now, the question is asking us for the ratio of magnetic field at the center to that of this. So we have to divide this value by this value. So when I do that, let me do it orally only. So when I do that, mu naught I will get cancelled. Okay. And here, I should cancel it here. So mu naught I will get cancelled. R gets cancelled. In fact, um, the root 2 gets cancelled, so we will be left with root 2 only. So the ratio would be root 2 is to 1. Okay. Okay. I've committed I missed the factor of 2 here while copying it down. So there would be another 2. So it would be 2 root 2. So 2 root 2 can be written as root x. So the answer is x equals to 8. Okay, now we go to the next question. This says the number density of free electrons in copper is nearly this much. A copper wire has its area of cross section this much and carrying a current. Okay, the drift speed. Okay, so the drift speed is given by we can use this formula. The formula that I recall is J is equals to NEVD. So from here, the drift speed can be calculated as J by NE. Here, J is the current density. So um, current density is given to us. So current is given to us. So current in SI unit divided by area in SI unit. So area is this. So 2 into 10 raised to power minus 6. I'm keeping everything in SI unit. So that is current density. N is given to us as 8 into 10 raised to power 28. Okay, per meter cube. And then E. E is the charge on electron. So it is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19. So we now have to finish this calculation. So let's do that. Um, okay. So see, 2 into 1.6 will cancel out with 3.2. And after that, we are only left with, some powers of 10. So this is minus 6. This is minus 19. So combined, they become minus 27. No, minus 25. They become minus 25, and then this is 28. So 10 raised to power 3 is left, which we can take in the numerator, and it will become 10 raised to power minus 3. Okay. Now, so we have adjusted this, we have adjusted this, we have adjusted this, and we are left with 1 by 8. Now, 1 by 8 is 0.125. So this is what we are getting in SI units. The question is asking us, no, not ampere, I'm sorry, we were measuring the, yeah. So this becomes meter per second. So the question is asking us in multiples of 10 raised to power minus 6 meter per second. So I can write it as 125 into 10 raised to power minus 6 meter per second. So 125 will become the answer, as we can see here. 125 is the right answer. Then we go to question number 73. It says a hollow spherical ball rolls up a curved surface with an initial velocity v, the maximum height with respect to the initial position. Now, guys, if a hollow ball is rolling with velocity v, it will also have an angular velocity of v by r, and therefore, when we are writing the kinetic energy, we need to take into account both. So, kinetic energy will be written as half mv square plus half into 2 by 3 mr square into v by r square. So it will become half mv square plus this 2 gets cancelled. So mv square by 3. So this becomes 6 into 5 into mv square. Now at the highest point, the velocity will become 0. The angular velocity will also become 0. So all the kinetic energy will be converted into the gravitational potential energy. So we will write 5 by 6 mv square is equals to mg into the change in height. So from here, this mm gets cancelled. So the delta h that we are looking for, it would be 5 by 6 into v square. V is given to be 3. So that will become 9 divided by g. G is given to be 10. So we now need to finish this calculation. So this is what? Uh, this like 3 times of 3. This is 3 times of 2. Okay. 15 by 20. And this is, we want to find the answer in centimeters. So this we are going to get in meter. Let me multiply it with 100 to get in centimeter. So this 2 into 10 is 20, 20, and this becomes 5. So 5 into 3 into 5, that is 75. So 75 is what we are looking for as the answer. That is correct. Okay, next we go to question number 74. It says a cylindrical wire of radius this much and conductivity. Now notice that we have been given the conductivity, the usually resistivity is given. And we write E equal to rho J, or else we can also write J as E equal to sigma E. Sorry, J equal to sigma E, or 1 upon conductivity can be written as resistivity. So from here we will get J equal to sigma E. And this is sigma. Okay, this is sigma. Now it's subjected to an electric field of this much. The expected value of the current in the wire will be this much, the value of X. So we want to know the expected value of the current in the wire, and we've been given this. Okay. So J is I by A. So I by A equal to this value. So I will be equal to A into E into sigma. A will be equal to pi R square. R is given to be 0.5 millimeter. So square of that will become 0.25, and millimeter square will become 10 raised to the minus 6 meter square. So I have deliberately converted everything into the SI units. I feel comfortable with SI units, so I've done that. Now, electric field is given to be 10 millivolt per meter. So 10 into 10 raised to power minus 3, and rest is SI unit. Into sigma. Sigma is 5 into 10 raised to power 7, and that is already given in SI unit. So no need to change that. So we will finish this and we'll get the answer. We need to find the answer in terms of milliampere, like something into milliampere. Okay, and pi is present here. So I will try not to substitute the value of pi. I already see my pi here. So I will just let it be. I will not, tinker with it. So now let's check the powers of 10. So 10 raised to the power minus 6. Okay, so this is 10 raised to the power minus 6, and this is 10 raised to the power minus 3. So combined they become minus 9, and here 10 and 7 become 8. So this, and this, they all get adjusted, and we end up with a 1 by 10. Okay, minus 9 and then 8. So time minus 1 remains. So I've adjusted the powers of 10 now. Now 0.25 into 5 is 1.25. Okay, or in other words, it is pi into 0.125. Now this is ampere. So pi into 125 milliampere, or we can write it as pi into 5 cube milliampere. And now if you compare it with this, the x is 5. We get the value of x is 5. So that is the correct answer. Okay. Next, we go to the last question, which is actually a very good question. It is a question of system of plates. Students, I will tell you how to deal with this. So, because I'm assuming that most of you will not be aware of how to deal with the system of parallel plates, so I will teach you that right now. So, if you notice that there are 6 plates overall. So, every plate has 2 surfaces that can bear charge. This surface and this surface. So, it has 2 surfaces, and the most important point is that they have a conducting medium between them, the entire plate. So, which basically ensures that the 2 surfaces should be at the same potential. So, all of this information can be retained in a simple figure like this. This is the upper surface that will have charge. This is the lower surface that will have charge. This is the connecting wire, ensuring that the two must be at the same potential. So the trick to do such question is to to replace all the horizontal plates with the alphabet I, and in case if vertical plates are given, then you replace this with alphabet H. Okay, right now we have six horizontal plate. Watch me what I'm doing. One I, that is one plate. Second, third, four, five, six. So I have written, and in fact, I had a bit, I was short on space. Okay, let me not be, let me show it properly. But probably this, I want to draw a a larger eye. So this is my first eye. Okay, that will make the circuit evident. Second eye, third, fourth, fifth, and that's what I was dreading, that I will run out of the space. Anyways, and this is my last eye. Okay, so now you see, you automatically start seeing the capacitors. Then the first and the fourth are connected. So let me just connect them with a different color, maybe with a red color. So the first and the fourth eye, so second, third, fourth. So first and fourth are connected. Then from the second plate, we have a terminal, let's say X terminal, which is actually this. Third and sixth are connected. So third and sixth, I can connect them. And then we have a terminal from here. Let this be Y. Okay. So this is the arrangement given to us. Now, these end plates in front of which there is no other plate, you can ignore this part, and we can now look at this circuit. We have converted the diagram of a physical situation the diagram was given of a physical situation, that there are six horizontal plates which are kept parallel to each other. We have now converted that into an equivalent circuit. Each of these capacitances will be same. In fact, no, each of this will not be same. This capacitor is formed between 1 and 3. So if I choose A epsilon naught by D as C, so this will be C. Between second and third will also be C. Between third and fourth, so distance is 2D. So between third and fourth, this is actually C by 2. Okay, between 4 and 5, that is again C, and between 5 and 6, that is again C. All right, so these are the values of the capacitance. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to further simplify it. So to do that, notice this. Suppose if I connect a 100-volt battery between this point and maybe this point, I'm not showing the wires here, that will just come, so this point will be at zero potential. So these points are at 100-point potential. And again, allow me to use different color to indicate different potential. So blue color is indicating 100-volt potential. Let me use purple to indicate something else. Let's say zero. So all these points are at zero potential now. All these points are at zero potential now. Now there are some points for which I don't know the value of the potential. Let me use maybe this white color. Okay. So let's let the potential of this point be V1. So this V1 goes here, here, here. It is here, it is here. So this is V1. Okay, and then I think we still have some points left for which we have not decided the potential. Let's choose this color, this peculiar color. This is, let's say, V2. Now you see we have chosen potential for all the points. We have chosen potential for all the points. And now we can actually start about simplifying this. So let this, okay, how many potentials are there? 100, 0, V1 and V2. So there are four potentials that we need. All the points have one of these four values. So let me first mark 4 points. Okay, these 4 points indicate the four different potential. Let this be 100. Let this be 0. So these were in the extreme. In between, there were the other values. Let this be V1. Let this be V2. So see, when we come from this 100 point, we have two capacitors. All right. So one is connected. Like this has one side on 100, one side on V1. So maybe here. Okay, and this is C. The other capacitor is also connected between 100 and V2. Okay, then there is one cap. So we have taken care of this. We have taken care of this. This capacitor is connected between V1 and V2. So we'll connect it here. Okay, and this is P by 2 actually. We have taken care of this. This capacitor is connected between V2 and 0. So V2 and 0. Okay, V2 and 0. So we have taken care of this. Between V1 and 0. So we have taken care of this. Is something evident to everyone? This is a Wheatstone bridge. So we can just remove this. The moment you remove this and this will become C by 2. This and this will become C by 2. C by 2 plus C by 2 will become C. So the answer would be C. So the answer is actually A epsilon naught by D. C. So therefore, alpha should be equal to 1, as you can see here. More than the question, I hope you got this trick where you replace each plate by an alphabet I or alphabet H, depending upon whether the plate is horizontal or it is vertical. When you do that, you start looking at the circuit and then you can use your tricks of solving circuits to solve the question. All right. On that note, I will end the discussion of this test. I hope you enjoyed the solutions, and I will hope that you write the next test also and you make use of the next solutions also. The next test is the entrance test or the scholarship test of Eklavya. Do participate in that, guys. The test paper is extremely good. It is slightly above the JEE Main level, but definitely below the JEE Advanced level. And when you write that test, you are going to get fabulous scholarships. All right. And do participate in Eklavya, guys. Remember, if you are preparing for JEE Advanced, Eklavya is something that you cannot miss. All right. JEE Advanced, Eklavya. It's as simple as that. All right. Bye bye, guys. Take care. I'll see you very soon.
Hello everyone. So let us now discuss the chemistry portion of your JEE Mains mock test number 5, right? So let's start with the very first question. As you can see, which of the following carbonyl compounds cannot be prepared by the addition of water on alkyne in the presence of H2SO4 and HgSO4? So I hope you all know the addition of water on alkyne follows Markovnikov's addition. So let us check which will not be formed by this addition reaction. Yes, so let us start with the very first. So if this is the product, so we can assume we have our triple bond here, right? So if I add water, it follows, as I told you, Markovnikov's addition. So if Markovnikov's addition is there, I will get this kind of product on addition of water, right? And this product, 2OH on the same carbon, they will lose water and will form ketone, right? So this water will be lost from here and you get this ketone, not aldehyde, because the reaction is following Markovnikov's rule. So by checking the first only, we get our answer that the first will not be formed. Instead, ketone is formed in first case in place of this aldehyde, right? So of course, the answer to this question, guys, is A for apple. You can check here, right? So let's move on to the next question. Given below are two statements. Statement 1, a mixture of chloroform and aniline can be separated by a simple distillation. Let's check it is right or not. Indeed, because aniline and chloroform, they have a difference, appreciable difference in their boiling point, and the substances which differ in their boiling point appreciably can be separated by simple distillation. This you must have done in class 9th even, right? Next is, when separating aniline from a mixture of aniline and water by steam distillation, aniline boils below its boiling point. So when you have a mixture in which there is one component is water, another is insoluble component in water, which is not soluble in water. So the mixture will boil at a temperature below 100 degree or 373 Kelvin, near 373, but below than that, right? So we have aniline and water mixture. Aniline is not soluble in water. So this mixture will boil near 373 Kelvin, but below this temperature. So that is also the correct statement. So both 1 and 2 statements are correct. So what will mark our answer, guys? Because both the statements are true. So indeed, A is the answer. Let's move on to the third question. Okay, which of the following is correct structure of alpha enomer of maltose? So maltose is the disaccharide of alpha glucose, right? So two alpha glucose molecule, they just join together from 1 and 4. There's 1 for alpha linkage first, and like 1 for alpha linkage is happening here. So let us see in which structure the alpha glucose, two alpha glucose, they are joined by 1 for linkage. Yes, okay. So I hope you know these structures of glucose. So this is my first carbon here, I can see, and 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my fourth carbon here, right? Yes, done. So both of them are joined together. As I told you, maltose is the disaccharide of two glucose molecules, right? Joined by 1 for linkage. So you just need to figure out the structure, the correct structure here. And I'm sure if you have done biomolecules, you must have done the structure of monosaccharides, disaccharides, trisaccharides and polysaccharides. The answer indeed is B, right? So 2 units of glucose joined by 1 for linkage. Next, okay, for the following reaction, the mass of water produced from 445 grams of this complex. So I've already written the mass, molecular weight is 890, though you will take some time in paper to get the molecular mass, to calculate the molecular mass. So I have 445 grams of this compound, this hydrocarbon, and the molecular weight is 890. So given mass 445 divided by 890, so I get 0.5 moles of this substance, right? So equation says 2 moles is forming 110. So 2 moles of this substance, as per the equation, forms 110 moles of water. So 0.5, how much moles it will form? 0.5 moles of this substance will form 110 by 2 into 0.5. Yes, that is 27.5 moles of water we'll have as a product. So we got moles of water and we are supposed to tell the mass. So mass of water, of course, the moles multiply by the molar mass of water, that is 18, right? So the final answer you will get in grams. Got it? Very simple stoichiometric coefficient, stoichiometric based question. And the calculations are also pretty simple. You can see you just need to calculate the molecular mass of the compound. Otherwise, everything seems very fine. right? I hope you got your answer. You mark the correct answer here, guys. So the answer to this question is, of course, C. Please check. I'm sure you did the right option, right? Okay, let's see the next question, the question number 5. So here we have the question number 5. Okay, so identify A in the given reaction. There is a molecule, organic molecule given to you. You can see the OH alcoholic groups are present on the compound. So you added SOCl2 in excess. You know, when you add SOCl2, substitution will happen. Your OH group will get substituted by another nucleophile, that is Cl negative, and as it is in excess, so all the possible OH will be replaced by Cl negative. So let's check which all can be replaced by Cl. So substitution is happening, nucleophilic substitution. So this OH will be replaced. Yes, and this is not a benzene ring. This will also be replaced. Yes. So this will not be replaced because it's not easy to show SNAR. Under special different condition, the nucleophilic substitution on benzene happens, right? So these two OH will be substituted by Cl groups, and I'm sure you must picked up the right option in this question. And the various options that we have is, you can see, you can have a look. So indeed the answer we'll figure out is C. C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer where you get it correctly. Both the OH, which are not on the benzene ring directly, they are substituted by chlorine. Let's move on to the next question, guys. Again, an organic question. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion, another is labeled as reason. So we have three molecules, order of acidic strength. Let's check what is the order of their acidic strength. Electron withdrawing groups increases acidic strength. As I can see, inductive effect happening here. Cl and fluorine both are electron withdrawing group, whereas CH3 is electron releasing group. So of course the C will be the least acidic, and out of A and B, because the minus I effect is distance dependent. Inductive effect is distance dependent, guys. I hope you know. So chlorine being more close to OH, it will exert more minus I, right? So the correct order, more withdrawing, more acidic. So this statement indeed is a correct statement, right? So what is the reason? Fluorine, chlorine both are exerting electron withdrawing effects, whereas CH3 is exerting your which effect? Plus I effect, electron releasing effect. So what should be the correct answer? You will mark. Assertion is a true statement. Fluoro is a stronger withdrawing group than chloro group. This is also a true statement, but not the correct explanation for assertion. So what will mark our answer? We'll mark our answer as C. Both A and R are correct, but R is not the correct explanation of A, right? Let's move on to the next question. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion, another is labeled as reason again. Okay, so we have two complexes here, I can see. So this complex, we have chlorido and amine as the ligands here, and cobalt is in +3 oxidation state, absorbs lower wavelength of light with respect to this complex, in which there is aqua, water as a ligand as compared to chloride, and rest we have amine ligands. And in both, cobalt is in +3 oxidation state. So the oxidation state of cobalt is same in both, but here we have chlorido, here we have aqua. H2O is a stronger ligand than halogens, right? So being a stronger ligand, more CFSC. So the CFSC of second complex is more. If energy is more, wavelength it absorbs is less, right? So assertion is not true. The second complex will absorb lower wavelength because it has more CFSC as compared to the first. And the reason, let's read the reason. So A is false. So we can easily mark our answer. The wavelength of the light absorbed depends upon the oxidation of metal ion. Indeed, because oxidation of metal ion impacts the CFSC, right? But as the first statement itself is false, the only option that I can see here or you could see was C. A is false. Got it, guys? A is false. So that is C option you will mark. Let's move ahead. The next question, question number 8. Consider the following statements. Let's check the following statements. NF3 has a trigonal planar structure. NF3, one lone pair, three bond pair. So NF3 has one lone pair and three bond pair. So pyramidal shape it has, right? So it is not a right statement. The bond length of N2. N2 has a triple bond, whereas O2 has a double bond. So more is the bond order, smaller is the bond length. Bond length of N2 is shorter than O2. Indeed, it is the right statement. Next, isoelectronic molecules or ions have identical bond order. In general, we can say it is true. I hope you remember the shortcut method that we use, number of electrons to calculate the bond order. So if the same number of electrons are there, isoelectronic, so we'll mark their bond order same. So yes, in general, we can say this is a true statement. The dipole moment of H2S is higher than that of water. No. Dipole moment depends upon the electronegativity difference also, and oxygen being more electronegative, it has more dipole moment. H2 has more dipole moment than H2S. So what we will mark? So we have B and C. B and C as the correct option. So I will go with A. Right? So we need to figure out the correct. So for question number 8, you will mark A as the answer. Done? Okay, guys. Let's move ahead. Question number 9. The product formed in the first step of the reaction. Okay, the first step. So you have alkyl halide. You can see you have 2 bromines on this, and magnesium diethyl ether Grignard reagent will be formed. Obvious, right? Magnesium with diethyl ether, you get Grignard reagent formation. Both the Br will get MgBr, R MgX formation reaction it is. So the very first step they are asking. So definitely will form Grignard reagent here. That is A for apple. So yes, A for apple is the answer. RMGX Grignard reagent formation, guys. You can see. So answer is A. Got it? I hope you did it. I hope you know the free radical is the intermediate and you get right. Done? Okay. So that is the right answer. Next question. For a multi-step reaction, the net reaction follows P gives product. So there is a multi-step reaction. The first kinetic activation energy, the second step activation energy, and the third activation energy is given to you. And of course, K1, K2, K3 are their rate constant. The total rate constant is given by this. So of course, this question is based on Arrhenius equation. K is equal to E raised to power minus EA by RT. So overall K, it is given to us. Let's solve. Overall K is equal to K1. I can use the Arrhenius equation minus EA1 by RT. K2, that is into A2 e raised to power minus EA2 by RT upon K3, that is A3 e raised to power minus EA3 by RT. Right? This. Clear? Okay, let's simplify. So your K will be, and of course it is raised to power 3 by 2. K is equal to A1, A2 by A3 is equal to 3 by 2. Yes, perfecto. And of course, this is e raised to power minus EA1 by RT minus EA2 by RT, right? Plus EA3, because we take it on numerator side, by RT into 3 by 2. This is the overall equation. So the overall rate constant K is equal to this. So just see, here is K, this is A for overall reaction, and this entire term, right, that is EA by RT minus EA by RT term. Yes, minus EA by RT term. So your minus EA or EA is equal to, yes, EA is equal to, you can see, so minus EA, or you can say minus EA is equal to minus EA1 minus EA2 plus EA3, right, that into 3 by 2. So let me write here. So what you can do is minus EA, this is the overall, right, that is equal to minus EA1 minus EA2 plus EA3. Put these values, because you know EA1, EA2, EA3, putting all these values 400, 180, 160, you will get the overall activation energy for the reaction simply using Arrhenius equation, nothing else, right? So this is the Arrhenius equation for the overall reaction happening. So just put the values, and I'm sure by putting the values, no tough calculation is here, you can get your answer, guys. Indeed, by putting the values of EA1, EA2, EA3, you will get your overall activation energy as 630, the A part. 630 kilojoule per mole should be the answer, right? Okay, let's move ahead. Next, Select the incorrect statement. So we have to figure out the incorrect statement. The first statement is radial function R, a part of wave function, is dependent on principal quantum number only. No, first statement is incorrect. Not just principal quantum number, it depends upon L also, azimuthal. So the radial part of the wave function depends upon both N and L. N is principal quantum number and L is azimuthal quantum number. So right away you can mark her answer as A. So first statement itself is an incorrect statement, but angular function depends upon direction and independent of distance. Yes, that is right. Psi square is the probability of density finding electron at a particular point in space, right? Radial distribution function gives the probability of finding electron being present at a distance r from the nucleus. Rest all are correct. So incorrect indeed is A. Got it, guys? So A is the answer. So the incorrect statement is A. The diazonium salt. The next question number 12. The diazonium salt of which of the following compound will form a colored dye on reaction with beta naphthol in NaOH? So beta naphthol, azo dye test. Azo dye test is given by primary amines, right? So primary amine on reaction with HNO2, they form diazonium salt. Then if that diazonium salt reacts with naphthol or phenol, they will give dye, azo dye, right? Orange red color compound. So guys, you just need to look which one of them is a primary amine. So this is a 3 degree amine, 2 degree amine, 1 degree and 2 degrees. So of course, the primary amine, that is C, should be the answer, which will give azo dye test. So this is azo dye test. Dye, a colored compound is formed. So in 1 degree amine, if you add, you make it diazonium salt, HNO2 nitrous acid, if you react it with, you get diazonium salt formation, which will react with your beta naphthol. In this question, as per this question, will give you azo dye, orange red color compound you will get. So azo dye test is there. Okay guys, so I hope you mark it as C. Okay, now the question number 13 we have. A part, H3O positive, the shape of H3O positive. So 1 lone pair, 3 bond pair, H3O positive, 1 lone pair, 3 bond pair, pyramidal shape. Pyramidal shape we have. Right? Yes. H3O positive, you can say pyramidal shape. Done? Yes. And acetylide ion, of course, linear. Linear. Ammonium ion, pyramidal. Ammonium ion is pyramidal. And of course, the last one has to be bent only. Yes, bent. Clear? So, of course, we'll mark our answer as B. First, A is pyramidal, B is linear, C is tetrahedral, and D is bent. Got it, guys? You can check the shapes also. Yes? Okay. Now, very easy, very direct question. Here we have. So, Henry Moseley told us that fundamental property of an element is atomic number. While doing his X-ray diffraction experiment, he got to know the fundamental property on which the behavior and the properties of element depends is its atomic number. So, he was doing the X-ray diffraction experiment in which he found the relation between atomic number and the frequency of the diffracted X-rays. So, what is the observation that he got? So, that atomic number is directly proportional to the under root of frequency. Very, very easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, B is the answer. This relation, direct relation, under root mu, the frequency of X-ray diffracted is directly proportional to atomic number. B is the answer. Very easy. I'm sure most of you done it right. Now the next question. The most stable conformer of this, the most stable conformation, and I'm sure you must have written this case in your notes, right? So you have OH, you have fluorine, and they will do intramolecular hydrogen bonding in Gauss position. Gauss conformation, they can do intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So because of intramolecular hydrogen bonding in this conformation, the Gauss conformation, of course, it is the most stable conformation. Yes, so direct question, I'm supposing it is there in your notes, right? When you did the conformation part. So B is the correct answer because of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now the next statement, select the correct statement. pH3 reduces AgNO3 to metallic Ag. Yes, indeed, this is the right statement. It reduces your AgNO3 to Ag, reducing agent. It is organic tissue turns AgNO3 black by oxidizing it to Ag. So in AgNO3, the oxidation state of Ag is +1 and here it is 0. So it is not oxidation, it is reduction. by reducing it to Ag, +1 to 0. So this is wrong. AgCN is insoluble in water, in KCN. Of course not, because when AgCN, we added it to KCN, there is this complex formation and it is very much soluble, right? Last, decomposition or reaction of AgBr is used in photography. That is right, but not in manufacturing of cement. This part is wrong. So we'll mark our answer as A is the correct answer, right? So we are supposed to figure out the correct statement. So we'll go with A option, right? Okay. The titrametric analysis of strength of NaOS solution can be done most accurately. We can do titration between any acid and base, but the most accurately. So if I have to determine the strength of NaOH, which is a base, I'm supposed to take an acid which is a primary standard. What is the primary standard? Which is pure, which is stable, right? So by using such acid, I can, get the accurate results, right? So stable, pure substance which can be weighed easily, that is a primary standard in the titrations. So let's check. So titrating a known volume of NaOH with the solution of H2SO4. H2SO4 is not a primary standard, it is a secondary standard, right? So secondary standard itself is determined, the strength of secondary standard is itself determined by titrating it with a primary standard. Okay, so A is not correct, B, because B is also having H2SO4. Let's, as of now, put it aside. Let's see what are the other options. Okay, titrating a known volume of NaOH with a solution of KH. So what is this KHP? This is KHP, which is used as a standard, primary standard for acid-base titration. Potassium hydrogen thalate, thalic acid. It is formed from thalic acid, KHP we call it, right? So potassium hydrogen thalate is used as a primary standard in acid-base titration. So of course we can use this with a known concentration and known volume. That is what we do, right? So the other solution which we are using to titrate to find out the unknown concentration of NaOH. So we should know the molarity, normality or the concentration and the known volume is to be used. So of course we can go with this. Titrating a known volume of NaOH with the solution of this with known concentration but unknown volume. No, volume should also be known. Then only we can apply na. At equivalence point N1V1 is equal to N2V2. So the primary standard which is here we are using is KHP. I have written here it is solid, air stable and can be weighed accurately. So we can use KHP, potassium hydrogen thalate, as a primary standard in our acid-base titrations. Okay. Which dicarboxylic acid in the presence of dehydrating agent is least reactive to give anhydride? So anhydride should be formed by the removal of water. Let us check. Okay. So the first we have this. Okay. Adipic acid on heating will lose a CO2 molecule. So basically it is kind of a degradation. One carbon becomes less and it will form your this as the product. Ketone will be, pentanone will be formed as, cyclopentanone will be formed as the product here in this, not an anhydride. So on dehydration, this will be the product, not the anhydride. Ketone will be formed. So adipic acid, the very first option we got. Rest all let's check. Yeah, they will form anhydrides. Yes. So the answer indeed, yes, it will also form A. A is the correct answer, guys. Right? So CO2 gas is removed. You can see here ketone is formed. Now the next question we have. In an iodometric estimation, the following reaction happens. Your Cu2 positive reacts with iodide. Cu2I2 plus iodine gas must be liberated. That liberated iodine gas reacts with hypo solution, right? So let's see. 0.12 moles of copper sulfate was added to excess of Ki solution and the liberated iodine requires 60 ml of hypo solution. Okay, so the reactions are given to us, so it makes our problem very easy. So 2 moles of this reacts with 4 moles of iodine to form, liberate. So let me write the first reaction. You can see 4I negative Cu2I2 along with I2. Now 1 mole of I2 reacts with 2 moles of hypo, right? Na2H2O3 and the reaction will carry. So I can see 2 moles of copper 2 positive ion liberate 1 mole of iodine and 1 mole of iodine reacts with 2 moles of hypo solution. So by seeing the stoichiometric coefficient, I can say moles of Cu2 positive, right? Copper sulfate was there. So I can write copper sulfate directly. So moles of copper sulfate is equal to the moles of hypo, 2 moles of copper sulfate, 2 moles of hypo. Moles of CuSO4 0.12, moles of hypomolarity into volume. Volume is given to us 60 ml. So by solving this, you can calculate the molarity of hypo. Solution pretty simple, no valency factor, nothing simple. Mole concept stoichiometry helps us to crack this question correctly without wasting much time. So indeed, the answer that you will get from here is A option, right? Yes, that is the A option. Let's check. Yes, indeed it is A. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Which is the correct stability order of propyl, isopropyl and allyl? Let's check. Carbocations, propyl, isopropyl, allyl. So there is this resonance, the more stable, and then more number of alpha hydrogen, right? And it has just 2 alpha hydrogen. So if it is 1, this is 2, and if this is 3, so the most stable is allyl because of resonance, positive with the pi bond, and then second because of more hyperconjugation, more alpha, and then 1 because 2 alpha hydrogens are there. So what should be the order of stability? Allyl followed by isopropyl, and then we have propyl. So this is the order: allyl carbocation, isopropyl and propyl. Got it? The basics of journal organic chemistry. So D donkey. Now the numeric value questions, guys. Consider the following reaction. So we have an organic reaction. A on reacting with Grignard reagent give B, which on reacting with copper gives us 2-methyl butene. So the final product here we are getting is 2-methyl butene. So let me make 2-methyl but2-ene. This is the product form, right? So copper. So dehydration has to be there. So that means B should be some alcohol on dehydration. We have the double bond here, dehydrating agent, right? Alcohol. And if alcohol is being formed here on reaction with Grignard reagent, 3-degree alcohol. So what can form the 3-degree alcohol? Right, this should be the ketone. Ketone on reacting with CH3MgR. CH3 will attack here and we get the 3-degree alcohol. So this should be A, this should be B, and this is the final product. Right, the mass percentage of carbon in A. So the mass of A in this divided by the molar mass. Mass percentage of carbon. Mass of carbon in which? In this. Right, butane 2-one. So molar mass of butane 2-one into 100. Yes, so I am sure simple organic reactions are involved and a basic class 9 formula to calculate the mass percentage. So I hope you get your answer correctly. Yes, done. So the answer, the numeric value answer to this is indeed 66.67 that you should mark. Right? Yes. The mass percentage, you can see compound A is butane 2-one. The mass of carbon is 12 carbon into 4 divided by the molar mass, that is 72. Okay, now the next numeric value equation. The stepwise formation of this complex is given to you. We have 4 amine ligand and copper is the copper 2 positive is the CMA here. So first step, 1 amine as a ligand, second amine, third amine, fourth amine. So K1, K2, K3, K4 are the stability constants. Values are given. The overall equilibrium constant for the dissociation of this. Okay, now let's write the dissociation reaction first. So this is the final complex, right? And the dissociation of this complex gives you the copper ion and plus 4. And the equilibrium constant for this reaction is K. So how can you form this reaction from above reactions? Right? I need copper and ammonia on product side. So adding all these reactions, 4 reactions, and then reversing, because we need this complex on reactant side and copper ammonia on product side, right? So K will be adding all these reactions. If you add all the reaction, the equilibrium constant gets multiplied. And if you reverse the reaction, the equilibrium constant gets reciprocal. So the equilibrium constant of this reaction is 1.K2.K3 into K4. So you add these reactions, the equilibrium constant multiply, and then you revert, so 1 by. Yes, so you know K1, you know K2, you know K3, you know K4, the values are given to you. Please put all these values and I'm sure you'll get your answer. Pretty simple. This is the dissociation reaction and we are supposed to calculate the equilibrium constant of the dissociation reaction. Right guys? So, pretty easy I will say, though it looks tough, but the answer rounded off to nearest integer, the answer comes out to be 1.26 into 10 to the minus 12. So you are supposed to tell the value of x, that is 1, right? Okay, next question. The reaction of cyanamide NH2CN with oxygen was run in a bomb calorimeter and delta U was found to be, delta U, internal energy change is given to us, and the magnitude of delta H is required. Very simple, very important relation that we are going to use here. Important, very important for JEE Mains. Many times JEE Mains has asked question on the same. So delta H of a reaction is equal to delta U plus delta NGRT. I am sure you are pretty aware of this reaction. So delta H we are supposed to calculate. Delta U is given to us minus 742.14 kilojoule. I have converted into joules. This plus delta Ng is the change in gaseous moles. So product side I have 2 gaseous moles and reactant side 3 by 2. So delta Ng is product side gaseous moles minus reactant side gaseous moles, right? Yes, so delta Ng value comes out to be half. So half of R is given to you. Temperature is 298 Kelvin, right? So just putting all these values, solving correctly, nicely, you can quote your answer. Yes, the magnitude of the delta H in kilojoules you are supposed to tell, guys. Yes, very simple direct relation and very important for JEE Mains. Many times questions are asked, so you will mark your answer as 741 kilojoule. In kilojoule you are supposed to mark your answer. Yes, done. The magnitude they are asking, so you can skip that negative sign. The magnitude only they are asking. So you'll mark your answer as 741. Okay, the number of acidic oxide and amphoteric oxide. So oxides are given again, indeed very important. The nature of oxides being frequently asked in your JEE Mains. Not just in Mains, advanced also ask the question on the same. So let's see. Metallic oxides are basic, non-metallic oxides are acidic. So we have 4 kind of oxide: acidic, basic, neutral and amphoteric. Right, let's check. SO3 non-metallic oxide acidic. Chlorine again non-metallic oxide acidic. This is also acidic. CO neutral oxide, CO, NO, N2O, they are neutral. So this is a neutral oxide. K2O basic oxide, B metallic oxide. This Cr2O3 is amphoteric, will react with both base and acid. Barium oxide again metallic oxide, basic. And this non-metallic, this is acidic. So X is the number of acidic oxide. So what is X? How many acidic oxide? 1, 2, 3 and 4. And Y is the number of amphoteric oxide. So we just have one amphoteric oxide. So X is 4, Y is 1 and X plus Y should be 5. They are asking us X plus 5, that should be 5. Got it guys? Yep. Done, 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 done. So you can see for, I have marked here the acidic and the amphoteric oxides. Last question. Okay, the last question. 80 mole percent of MgCl2. 80 mole percent of MgCl2 is dissociated in aqueous solution. So guys, alpha is given to you. Alpha is given to you. You all can check. Yes. 80%, alpha is 0.8. Let me write first. The alpha is 0.8. 80% is alpha is 0.8. So MgCl2 is dissociated. You know, this is MgCl2. It will dissociate to give Mg ions and chloride ions, right? So it is dissociated in aqueous solution. The vapor pressure of 1 molar aqueous solution of MgCl2 at 38 degrees Celsius. So you are supposed to calculate the vapor pressure of 1 molar, right? 1 molar aqueous solution of MgCl2 at 38 degrees Celsius. Correct? So of course, Vent-Off factor we need because we are using colligative properties. So I is equal to 1 plus n1 minus alpha. Yes, that is the answer because dissociation is there. Dissociation is happening. So n is 2. N is 2 or 3? N is 2 or 3? Yes, n minus 1 alpha. Is that correct, guys? Yes, alpha 0.2. Alpha is 8. Alpha is 0.8 here. You all know alpha is point here. So I will come out to be. So Ventov factor I is 1 plus n minus alpha, and number of particles is 3. So we get our Ventov factor here as alpha is 0.8, 2.6. That is your I, right? Yes. So the vapor pressure, now you are supposed to calculate the vapor pressure of solution. Solution vapor pressure you are supposed to calculate. The pure vapor pressure is given to you. Correct? Yes, the pure vapor pressure is given to you. P naught is given to you. Delta P you are supposed to calculate. Perfecto. Delta P is the change in the delta P is the change or the lowering of vapor pressure, you can say. Then P naught is the pure, that is given to you, pure. What are the solvent vapor pressure? P naught. Then the Ventov factor I. Solute by solvent. Moles of solute by solvent. Yep. So I value you know. 0.1 molar aqueous solution. 0.1 moles of MgCl2 is present in 1 kg of the solvent. 1 kg of the solvent means water. So, 1 mole. So 1 mole of your solute present in 1 kg of a solvent, that is water. So you can calculate the moles of water also. Yes, 1 kg is the given mass, molar mass is 18. So you can calculate, I is there. You can calculate the moles of solute, that is 1 moles of solvent. Delta P naught is given to you. You can calculate the RLVP, the lowering of vapor pressure. So delta P, the change in vapor pressure you will get, but you are supposed to tell the solution vapor pressure, right? So you know delta P, pure minus vapor pressure of solution, that you can calculate. I hope using the simple colligative formulas you can get through this question, right guys? Done. So this is the question and the final pressure that you will get, the solution, and you are supposed to tell the answer, write the answer in the nearest integer, right? So please, putting all these values, you will get your answer as 48. Right, I is equal to 1 plus n minus alpha. Alpha is given to you. You can calculate I, and using RLVP formula, putting the values, you will get your answer. And you are supposed to write the vapor pressure of the solution, not the delta P. Please be careful. You are supposed to tell the vapor pressure of the solution. Just be careful writing the answer while writing the answer, right? So that's all for today, guys. So this was the mock test number 5. I hope you did pretty well in this. And after the test, you should definitely analyze where you commit mistake, because that is the whole point of giving mock test, right? So all the best for your further tests and see you soon.
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Surendra Jain, Master Teacher of Maths in Vedantu. I'm discussing JMMT-05, and this is question number 1 of this paper from Maths portion. Okay, here they're asking the value of this definite integration. Yeah, definite integration, and this bracket is greatest integer function. So here question is quite simple, I think. Minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, we will split this integration into minus 1 to 0. The GIF of x cube will be just minus 1. So it will be x square into e power minus 1 dx. And from 0 to 1, it is x square into e power 0. That is nothing but 1. So here you just need to integrate this. That will be e power minus 1 common. And this is x cube upon 3 minus 1 to 0 plus x cube upon 3 limit from 0 to 1. So this will become e power minus 1. For upper limit it is 0, for lower limit it will be minus 1 upon 3, but minus because of lower limit is additional minus sign, and plus 1 upon 3. So answer for this should be this one, means that is 1 upon 3 you can take common, 1 upon e plus 1, that is e plus 1 upon 3e. So answer for this question should be D. Okay, so moving to the next question, 27th question. I think this is from one previous year questions, long back, maybe 10-20 years back maybe. So here we are given x is equal to summation cos power 2 and theta, And as you change n from 0 to infinity, this will be GP, starting with 1, then cos square theta, then cos power 4 theta, and so on up to infinity. And its sum will be 1 upon 1 minus r, that is cos square theta. So my x value is equal to 1 upon sine square theta. Likewise, if I calculate for y, it will be 1 upon cos square phi. Okay. Now z is also given something like this only, and then we have to make a relation between x, y, and z. Here for z, it will be 1 upon 1 minus cos square theta into sine square phi. 1 minus for cos square theta, because sine square theta is equal to 1 upon x. I can write cos square theta as 1 minus 1 upon x. Likewise, for sine square phi, we can write it as 1 minus 1 upon y. This is z equal to. It will be 1 upon, if you open these brackets, 1 will be cancelled. So I think we will be having 1 upon x plus 1 upon y minus 1 upon xy. If we take xy LCM in the denominator, I think it will come in the numerator actually. So xy, and this will be y here plus x minus 1. Y plus x, not z. Y plus x minus 1. And then we can solve it and we'll get the answer. So from this we are getting z into x plus y minus z is equal to xy. Now we can see which option is matching for this thing. So z into x plus y equal to z plus xy. So I think C should be the answer of this question. Yeah. Now the next question is, line is the directrix of the hyperbola. Okay, then hyperbola pass through the point. Now this hyperbola we can write it as x square upon 6 upon k minus y square upon 6 equal to 1. Okay. Now for this hyperbola, eccentricity square will be equal to 1 plus b square, that is 6, upon a square, that is 6 upon k. So this gives you 1 plus k. Okay. And for such hyperbola, your directrix lies on x is equal to a upon e. And we are given that to be equal to 1. Okay, which means my a should be equal to e, or a square should be equal to e square. Okay, so you get quadratic equation, I think, because a square is 6 upon k and e square is equal to 1 plus k. If you multiply, you get k square plus k minus 6 equal to 0. And from that we get two values. I think k is equal to, I think we'll put it plus 3 minus 2. So one value will be 2 and one value will be minus 3. Yeah, that's correct. Now, but if I take k is equal to minus 3, then it will not be in a hyperbola. In fact, this will be imaginary curve, because if k is minus 3, no real point can lie on it, because on the left hand side it will be totally negative, on the right hand side it will be 1. So for k is equal to 2, we have to take, and this hyperbola will become k equal to 2. If I put, it will be 2x square minus y square is equal to 6. Now we have to check all the options one by one. Like a option, if I put here, so 2 root 5 square will be, I think, 4 into 5. 20 into 4, 40 minus 36. I think this is not matching. Now that is 4, so this is not matching with this option. Root 5, if we put, so 5 into 2, 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. This is also not matching with this. For next one, it will be 10 minus 4. So this is actually matching. So this point is definitely lying here. And similarly, other point also we can check. Here it will be 40 minus 6 into 9, 54. So this is also not matching. So answer for this question should be C. Okay. Coming to the next question, that is question number 29. Total number of positive integral solutions such that xyz is equal to 24. Okay. Now to do this question, I need to make prime factorization of 24. xyz is equal to 24, and I will write it as 2 raised to the power 3 into 3 raised to the power 1. Now please see, because xyz are positive integers, so these xyz will be having some factors of 2 or 3. Now 2 can be considered separately, 3 can be considered separately. We can think of that x is equal to 2 raised to the power, let us say t1 into 3 raised to the power s1, etc. Which means the powers of 2 in x, y and z and their sum, that is T1 plus T2 plus T3, it should be equal to 3, and likewise S1 plus S2 plus S3 should be equal to 1. Now we can apply beggar coin method for this. So for this, 3 beggars, 3 coins, so 3 plus 3, 6 minus 1, 5, C2, that will be equal to 10 here, and here it will be, I think, 3C2, that is 3. Okay, so your 10 ways to distribute power of 2 to XYZ, and 3 ways to distribute power of 3 to XYZ. So combining these two, I think 10 into 3, so answer should be equal to 30. Okay, D. See, in this question, they're asking positive integral solutions. If it was only integral solution, then for these 30, please listen carefully. Answer here is 30. Question is closed. But if it was not positive, it was just integral, then you would have had, say, X can be positive and Y can be negative, negative also. Y negative, Z negative, keeping same magnitude as you're getting here. So 2 of them can be kept negative, 1 of them can be kept positive, then also you will get same product. So which 2 will be negative, 3C2. Okay, and also one more thing, when all are positive, this into 30, then this answer becomes 120 actually. This 3C2 is for those cases when 2 are negative, 1 is positive. This is for all are positive, which we have calculated here, and this 30 will be actually copied 4 times. So then it becomes 140. Now coming to question number 30, it says the image of point in the line lies on. Okay, so this point 3, 5, you have to find the image. Let us say this is alpha beta. Now there is a direct result. I am going to use that only, and you have to remember that because it is very useful in 2D straight line also and 3D plane also. Alpha minus 3 upon in the line this, so coefficient of x here equal to beta minus 5 upon minus 1 here, and then is equal to minus 2 times, we will put this point here. So 3 plus 1, 4, 4 minus 5 is minus 1 upon 1 square plus 1 square, so 2. This will be equal to 1. So from this we get alpha to be 4 and beta to be equal to also 4. So the point alpha beta here is 4, 4. Now we can check where it is lying. I think in A option, that will be 0, that will be 4. So I think A seems correct. For this, I think this is not matching because 4 plus 4, 8 only. Here it is 0 on the left hand side. Here it is, I think, 36. So this is also not matching. So answer for this is A. Moving to the next question. A is greater than 0, B is greater than 0, and A plus B is pi by 6. You have to find the minimum value of 10A plus 10B. Okay. Now there is one method in which you can put B is equal to pi by 6 minus A. And then this will be a function of A. Okay. 10A plus 10 of pi by 6 minus A. And because A and B both are positive, the value of A has to lie within 0 to pi by 6. Yeah, 0 to pi by 6. This is single variable function. Now we can do the differentiation, which gives you derivative will be secant square A minus secant square pi by 6 minus A. So this is equal to 0. I think there is only one possibility because A is ranging from 0 to pi by 6. Then when A is equal to pi by 6 minus A. Okay. Why I am saying so? Because A is only in very small interval 0 to pi by 6. You can do for general solution also, but only this solution will fit in. So the value of A will be equal to pi by 12. Okay. From second derivative test or first derivative test, it can be checked when this is pi by 12 here, 0 here, and pi by 6 here. Okay. At 0, this will be 1. At 0, this will be, I think, 2. So it is negative here. It is positive here. So that is the point of minimum. So pi by 12 is the point of minimum. Pi by 12 is 15 degree. So we have to find the minimum value of this. So minimum value will be 2 times 10 pi by 12. 2 times 10 pi by 12. And 10 pi by 12, 10, 15 degrees, I think 2 minus root 3. Yeah, 2 minus root 3. So answer for this question should be 4 minus 2 root 3. That is D. Okay, I'll tell you one more method for this question. Yeah, that method is that if you draw the graph of 10, if you draw the graph of 10, it is something like this. Concave up. Okay. Now, your A and B are having sum equal to pi by 6. So let us say this point is pi by 12 here. So one angle will be less than pi by 12, one angle will be bigger than pi by 12. This may not be exactly, in fact, this has to be exactly in between. It has to be the midpoint. So whatever distance is here, this A, if it is here, at same distance B will be there. Okay. Now please see, for this AB, the midpoint is, please see, for AB line, AB straight line, the midpoint is x coordinate pi by 12 and y coordinate is tan A plus tan B upon 2. Okay. But if you can see on the diagram, it seems like the y coordinate of this point, let us say C, has to be above y coordinate on the graph of tan x. So this tan A plus tan B upon 2, from this diagram, we can say it should be greater than or equal to tan of pi by 12, which is 2 minus root 3. If you multiply by 2, you get the same answer, that is D. So D is the answer of this question. Okay, moving to the next question, 32. Here given here, let A is a set of 4-digit natural numbers whose exactly one digit is 7. Then probability that a randomly chosen element of A leaves a remainder when divided by 5. Now I will do this question by making cases. There are 4 places. So your 7 can be here, your 7 can be here also, your 7 can be here also, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 7 can be here also. There are total 4 cases, and exactly at one place 7 will be there. Now I will write 2 numbers here, 1 total cases. So if 7 is here, exactly 1, 7 is to be needed. So I have 9 options for this, 9 options for this, 9 options for this. So there will be total 9 into 9 into 9 numbers, such numbers actually. But out of these numbers, how many are those which leaves remainder 2 when divided by 5? Now, because already 1 7 is there, you cannot have 7 here. And if you want remainder 2 when divided by 5, at your unit place, you should be having either 7 or you should be having either 2. Either 7 or 2. Now this color I will be using for those numbers which are giving you remainder 2 when divided by 5. So if it is 2, this is 7, then I think we are having only 9 into 9 choices in this case. Okay, now coming to this case. In this case, first let us count all the cases. Okay, so if all the cases we talk about, at this first place, I think we cannot have 0, so, and 7 also we cannot have. So 8 into 9 into 9. In fact, for this also you can check, it will be 8 into 9 into 9. Same logic. Here it will be 8 into 9 into 9. Because first place you have only 8 options, except for this 8, 8, 8. For other 2 places 9, 9. Now let us talk about the different color one. That is this one. Okay. So here in this case, what we will be having, suppose you put 2 here. So this case, I think I'll be having 8 into 9 cases in which number will give you remainder 2. In this case also, if you put 2 here, this will be 8 into 9. Here already, all the numbers are such which will be giving remainder 2 when divided by 5. So it will be 8 into 9 into 9. So what we need to do, we need to add them. We need to add them, divide this by this. So that will be how this question is done. Not very difficult. Okay. If I add these numbers, I think this is, let us first add these. So 8 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 9, 25 into 9 for these 3, plus that is 72 into 9. Whole divided by, this is 8 plus 8 plus 8, that is 24, 24 plus 9 is 33. Yeah, into 9 into 9. So I think we can cancel this 9 with this 9 here. So this is 25, 25 plus 72, that is 97 upon 9 into 33. So it will be, I think, 99 into 3. 99 into 3 is 297. So 97 upon 297 should be the answer of this question, that is A option. Now coming to this question 33, I think that is also very standard question, very old question. I have seen it in multiple books. I think in previously also it has been asked in mains or maybe some other state exams. So here you can see this IN and IN plus 2 if we do. And how do we get this idea? Because if you add like this, then cot power n x will be common and we will be getting 1 plus cot square x here dx. And 1 plus cot square x is actually cosecant square x, which is negative of differentiation of cot power nx. Okay, so this will be cot power nx into d of cot x, you can say, with minus sign. Okay, so the integration will become equal to यहाँ पर minus 1 upon n plus 1 into cot raised to the power n plus 1. Cot raised to the power n plus 1. Now limits are from pi by 4 to pi by 2. For pi by 2, cot becomes 0, lower limit, and 1 minus sign, so it will become minus minus plus, so it becomes 1 upon n plus 1. So in plus 2 is 1 upon n plus 1, which means if you take with the difference of 2, like n and n plus 2, you are getting 1 upon the mean value of this thing. So I think very easy to say this will be the answer, because this will be, because reciprocal also we have to take, I think first term will be 3, then 4, then 5. These numbers are actually 3, 4, 5, which is AP. GP and these AP, they all are wrong, I think. Okay. So after 33, question number 34. This is again one very popular problem. They have asked in mains also, advanced also, let me tell you, similar to this. So if we are given fx equal to this thing and they are asking this summation. Now please see, first term and last term, if you look at this 1 by 20 and 39 by 20, their sum is 2. Their sum is 2. So what I will be doing, I will find 2 minus x, f of 2 minus x, which will be equal to 5 raised to the power 2 minus x upon 5 raised to the power 2 minus x plus 5. If you simplify it to multiply by 5 power x, I think we will be getting 5 in the numerator upon 5 plus 5 power x. Okay, so you can see that fx and f of 2 minus x, if you add them together, you get, I think, just 1. Now in this series, if you check f1 upon 20, f39 upon 20, first one and last one, they are two numbers whose sum is 2. Similarly, if you take second number and second last number here, their sum will also be 2. So you can make, because total numbers are 39, so you can make 19 pairs, and for 19 pairs, your sum would be 19 into 1, and there will be one number that is lying in between, which is actually f of, that will be 20 upon 20, because it will not make pair with anyone. 20 upon 20, that is f1. You can either find from here by putting x is equal to 1, or you can find from here also by putting x is equal to 1. So f, that will be half, so 19 and a half is the answer. That is 39 by 2. 39 by 2 should be the answer of this question. Okay. After this 34, this 35 question, limits. Cos inverse x minus GIF x square into sin inverse x minus GIF x square upon x minus x cube, and x is approaching to 0 plus. This means your GIF is going to be perfectly, 0. So it is just limit x approaches to 0 plus cos inverse x into sin inverse x upon, I'll write x here and 1 minus x square here. And this is limit x approaches to 0 plus. Now this is standard limit, that will be 1, and cos inverse 0 is pi by 2, and here it will be 1. So I think very easy question, answer is pi by 2. Okay. Moving to the next question, 36. Which of the following is true for yx that satisfies the differential equation? Okay. Now you can see for this dy upon dx, this expression here can be factorized. How? X minus 1 will be one factor and y plus 1 will be one factor. Let us check. X into y, then plus x minus 1 minus y. Yeah, that's right. Now I think it's a variable separable question. You can write dy upon y plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 into dx. Okay, so integration will be ln y plus 1 mod is equal to x square upon 2 minus x plus c. And if you put these values like x is equal to 0, y is also 0, then I think c becomes equal to 0. You can check that c is coming out to be 0. So my question is just y plus 1 is equal to e raised to the power x square upon 2 minus x. Okay. Let me tell you one thing. I think I have talked about this in previous tests also. Here there is a mod. Okay. And whenever we are given like y 0 is 0, so you can put y equal to 0 here. This is giving you 1. Okay. Now some of you might think that sometimes this y plus 1 can become negative also. Okay. In that case, there will be minus sign here. Okay. But let me tell you, when we are given y 0 is equal to 0, then we should choose only that side of the function where this y plus 1 is always positive, because at this value, if this y is 0, okay, and if you take other side of the function, then this will become discontinuous at some point, that is y is equal to -1. There it will be not defined. Whatever mod you take, that will be not defined. So for a continuous function to be taken, I think we can take only one side of this type of function. In fact, in the option also they're asking y of 1. So then also it becomes very much clear that I should choose this mod opened with just y plus 1 only. Now I think I have to put x is equal to 1. So we get y1 plus 1 is equal to e power minus half. So 1 will go that side. So our answer will be D, that is e power minus half minus 1. Now coming to the next question, here we are given a triangle PQR. Okay, P here somewhere, QR. Coordinate of P and Q are given, that is -2, 4 and R 4, -2. Equation of perpendicular bisector of PR is also given. Equation of perpendicular bisector of PR is also given, that is 2x minus y plus 2 equal to 0. Then we have to find the center of circumcenter of triangle PQR. Now, if P is known, that is -2, 4, Q is known, that is 4, -2. Circumcenter is always the point of concurrency of two perpendicular bisectors. So from P and Q, I think we can find one more perpendicular bisector. Then point of intersection of these two lines will be the answer. Okay. Now PQ, if you take their slope, I think it is coming out to be -1. So slope of this will be 1. And I think equation is also equal to x is equal to y, because this point is 1, 1. Okay. The slope of this line is, I think, -1. The slope of this angle bisector should be 1. Yeah. So solve these two, x is equal to y and 2x minus y plus 2 equal to 0. We get x and y both to be equal to, I think, -2. So the point will be, circumcenter will be B. B should be the answer of this question. Now coming to next question, question number 38. If cot inverse alpha is equal to this thing, I think this is question based on BN method in inverse trigonometry. Please see, this is actually summation of cot inverse 2r square. I think you might have done this kind of question before. And here r is going from 1 to, sorry, not infinity, this time it is going from 1 to 100. 1 to 100. Okay. Now for cot inverse, what we will do? We will write it as first tan inverse 1 upon 2r square. Okay. And this tan inverse can be written as tan inverse, I'll write 1 plus 4r square minus 1 here and 2 here. And this 2 I will write like 2r plus 1, 2r plus 1 minus 2r minus 1. Okay, now you can see this 4r square minus 1 is actually product of these two, which means we can write it as tan inverse 2r plus 1 minus tan inverse 2r minus 1. In this r is starting from 1 to 100. If we start putting values of r, so first bracket will be tan inverse 3 minus tan inverse 1. Then second bracket tan inverse 5 minus tan inverse 3 and so on. And the last bracket will be, if you put 100, that will be tan inverse 201 minus tan inverse 199. Okay, so you can see if you add all of them, this tan inverse 3 gets cancelled here, tan inverse 5 also gets cancelled from the next one, tan inverse 199 will get cancelled with the previous term. So total we are having tan inverse 201 and tan inverse 1 remaining in this calculation. So now we will be using that tan inverse x minus y formula, that is tan inverse 201 minus 1 upon 1 plus 201 into 1. So this becomes tan inverse 200 upon 202. If you put this back to cot inverse, I think it will be 1.01. This 202 upon 200 it will come. So C will be the answer of this question. Okay. If this becomes if this goes up to infinity, the answer comes pi by 4, that is cot inverse 1. They're asking in terms of cot inverse alpha, for infinity, this alpha becomes actually 1. So as your number of terms will increase, you can see from here also, this will almost tend to 1. Okay, now coming to the next question. Yeah, very nice question. Actually, they have used the properties of E and log. So first term in the numerator, you can see if I bring this 3 on the power of 2x, it will be 2x whole power 3. And then E and log of base E will be removed. Okay. Similarly, here it will be 5 into 2x whole square. In the denominator, it will be x raised to the power 4 plus 5 into x cube minus 7 into x square dx. Now we can divide by x square in numerator and denominator. This will be 8x only. This will be, I think, 20. And here it will be x square plus 5x minus 7. Now please see, the derivative of denominator is 2x plus 5, which is 4 times of this, So I think we can write it as 4 times log or ln of x square plus 5x minus 7. Actually mod here plus c. Okay, again I'm saying the derivative of this is what? 2x plus 5, which is 4 times, sorry, and 8x plus 20 is 4 times the derivative of this. Okay, if you take 4 common, then it is 2x plus 5, which is exactly the derivative of this quadratic written in the denominator. So from that, I think you get the answer as what should be the answer? 4 times this thing, I think, A. Moving to the next question, that is 40. We are given 2 straight lines whose direction cosines are given by this relation, and they are parallel. Then what is the positive value of C? Okay. In such question, we eliminate one of the L or M or N, and because lines are parallel, that means they should have equal direction cosines or proportional. Maybe all direction cosines of one should be minus sign of the other. Okay. So here, please see, I am going to eliminate M. You can eliminate L also, M also, N also, your choice. So 3L square plus, now N is actually N minus L, so whole square here, plus C into NL is equal to 0. Now this will be a quadratic. Let us first write in terms of L. So it will be 4L square here and plus C minus 2 into NL plus N square is equal to 0. Okay. Now if you divide by N square the whole equation, L upon N square plus C minus 2 into L upon N plus 1 is equal to 0, it will become. Now please see, it is quadratic in L upon N, and because both L, M, N, whatever solution you are getting, they are parallel. That means in both scenarios, suppose L1, M1, N1 is one solution and L2, M2, N2 is other solution, but because they are parallel, so in both cases L1 upon N1 will be equal to L2 upon N2, which means this quadratic should have real roots, sorry, equal and real roots. So equal root means it's D, that is C square minus 2, C square minus 2, C square minus 2 should be equal to 16. B square is equal to 4AC. So C minus 2 will be equal to 4 because I have to take positive value of C. If you take minus 4, then it will become negative. So C will be equal to 6 here. Okay. So answer for this will be A. Okay. Moving to the next question. Let S be the set of all values of lambda for which the shortest distance between the lines is 13. Okay. Now please see how we can find the shortest distance. There can be 2 methods. One is a direct formula. You take the difference of points lying on these lines. For the first point, for the first line, the point lying on it is lambda 3 and minus 6. For second line, it is minus lambda 0 and 6. If I take the difference from this to this, I think it will be 2 lambda here and 3 minus 0, 3 here and minus 12 here. Second row will be direction ratio of first line, that is 0, 4, 1, and for second line it is 3, minus 4 and 0. Okay, upon magnitude of cross product of direction ratios of first line to second line. So I cap, j cap, k cap, 0, 4, 1, 3, minus 4, 0 mod. Okay, now we will find, let us first find the vector here. So it will be 4, 0, so it will be 4 I cap here. Okay, 0 minus 4, so I cap. For j it will be 0 and minus 3, so it will become plus 3 j cap. Okay, and for k it will be minus 12, I think. Yeah, minus 12 k cap. Okay, if you look at this, I think the numerator is actually the dot product of first row with this thing only. If you consider first row as a vector, then for this determinant it is just the dot product of first row with the vector obtained from this cross product. So 2 lambda into 4, so it will be 8 lambda, 3 into 3, 9, and plus 144 mod, and this is equal to 13. The magnitude here is also 13 because 16 plus 9 plus 144, so 169, so 13 will come here, so we get 169 is equal to mod of 8 lambda plus 153. Now there will be two values, okay, set of there will be two values, and we have to find the sum of those values multiplied by 8. Let us see how we can do it. I will do it little differently. We can write it as 8 lambda 1 plus 153 is equal to 169 for one value, and 8 lambda 2 plus 153 is equal to minus 169 for other. Okay, for one value we need to open this with plus sign, for other with minus sign. Okay, now we have to get the sum of these two. If you add these two, you get 16 times lambda 1, not 16, sorry, 8 times only. Yeah, 8 times lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus 206. On the right hand side it is 0. So lambda 1 plus lambda 2 into 8 actually equal to minus 206, but we are asked to find the mod of that, hence answer will be not 206, I think sum is 306. 153 plus 153 306, so answer will be 306, that is C. Okay, now moving to the next question, number 42. The absolute difference of the coefficient of x power 10 and x power 7 in the expansion is equal to. So first we find the general term, that is p r plus 1, that is here it is n actually 11. So 11 cr into 2x square whole raised to the power 11 minus r into 1 upon 2x raised to the power r. Okay, now the power of x will be 22 minus 2r minus r. In one case we want 10, in other case we want 7. In case of 10, I think this will be equal to, I think 4, yeah, 4, and for 7 it will be 5. Yeah, okay. Now the required coefficient then will be 11 C4 into 2 power, if you put r as 4, then it will be 2 power 7 here and 2 power 4 here, minus, we have to take the difference. For r is equal to 5, it will be 11 C5, and this will be 2 power 6 upon 2 power 5. Okay, so that is what we are looking for. 11 minus 4 is 7, 2 power 7 upon 2 power 4, that is right. Okay, now we have to calculate this value. Now this is not easy, not difficult to find. 11 C4 is what? 11 into 10 into 9 into 8. I think 4 times we'll write 8, 9, 10, 11 upon 4 factorial, that is 24, because that 6 factorial will cancel, into, I think we are having 2 power 3, so 8 in the numerator here. Then minus, it will be 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7, because this is 11C5 upon 5 factorial, that is 120, into 2 here, into this is 2 here. Okay, so we just have to solve it. Okay, so this 24 will cancel 9 into 8 3 times. 120, 0 is cancelled. 12 will cancel 9 into 8, I think 6 times. Yeah. So what we are left with, let us see what all things we can take common directly. So 11 is common. Okay, and I think 24, but here I think only 12 is common, so we will take 12 common here. 11 gone, here we have taken 12, so 8 into 3 24, so here it is 20, and minus 11 is gone, 6 into 2 is gone, only 7 is left here, so we are getting this to be equal to 11 into 12 into 13, 11, 12, 13. but answer is given differently. Actually, you can write it as 12 common and 11 as 12 minus 1, 13 as 12 plus 1. So we are getting 12 into 12 square minus 1, that is 12 cube minus 12. So answer for this will be B. Okay. If you do not observe this thing, I think you will have to find the value and then you have to check each value maybe that which can be correct. So answer here is B. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Relation is, we have to tell x plus y 7. Very easy question, I think. In this relation, you can see the ordered pair that you will have are 1 with 6, 2 with 5, 3 with 4, 4 with 3, 5 with 2, and last 6 with 1. I think these are the 6 ordered pair that are possible here because we need x plus y to be equal to 7. Okay, now is it equivalence? I think it is not, because it is not reflexive at all. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, they are not there. So it is not equivalence, it is not reflexive. Okay, now coming to transitive and symmetric. I think it is symmetric, obviously. 1, 6, 6, 1 is there, 2, 5, 5, 2 is there, so it is symmetric. Okay, so I think this option is also wrong because they are saying neither symmetric. So it has to be symmetric, but neither reflexive, not transitive. I think transitivity can also be checked because 1, 6 and 6, 1, they both are there. And for transitivity, you need to have 1, 1 and 6, 6 both to be there. But as you can see, they are not there in the relation. Hence, it is not transitive. So answer is B. That is symmetric, but neither reflexive nor transitive. Let the mean and variance of 12 observations be 9 by 2 and 4 respectively. Later on, it was observed that 2 observations were considered as 9 and 10 instead of 7 and 14. This means you were considering 9 and 10, but they were actually 7 and 14. Let us read it again. Considered as 9 and 10 instead of 7 and 14. So actual value would have been 7 and 14, but we considered them to be 9 and 10. Okay, so what difference does it make? It will create impact on mean value. Right now, my mean value is 12 into 9 by 2, that is 54. 54 is total sum, actually, not mean. 54 is total sum. Okay, that is the sigma, you can say xi. Okay, but corrected sigma xi will not be this thing. Sigma xi dash, corrected one, because 9 is replaced by 7, so value 2 is reduced. Here 4 is increased, so total increase of 2 will be there, so it is 56 here. Okay, now we also need sum of squares. Okay, and for that we are given variance. Okay, so here variance is 4 and it will be equal to sigma xi square upon 12 minus mean is 9 by 2. The false one is 9 by 2. You can bring that this 9 by 2 that side and multiply by 12 after that. So sigma xi square we can find, it will be 9 plus I think 81 upon 4 whole multiplied by 12. Okay, so this will be 48 plus 243. 12 into 4, 48, and this 3 into 81 is 243. That's right. Okay, now we need to find sigma xi dash square also. Now, because we have removed 9, we have removed 10. So for this 48 plus 243, what we have done actually, we have added 49 instead of 81 for square I'm talking about. Likewise, we have added 196 instead of 100. Yeah, instead of 100. So you can see 96 here. 96 minus 81 is I think 15. 15 plus this is 64. So I think this net sum will increase by 64. So we will get 48 plus 243 plus 64. How much is this? Yeah, we can calculate. 6 plus 8, 12 plus 3, 15. So 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 6, 15. I think 355. Yeah, I think 355 is right, because if I take 12 from it, so this will be 100. Yeah, 355 is right. So 355 is the summation here. Now we need to find the correct. Variance. Now to find correct variance, we can use that formula of variance, which will be correct variance sigma dash square, let us say. So it will be average of squares minus square of average, that is 56 upon 12. 56 upon 12 whole square. inside this bracket, I think we can divide this 14 for the and 3. Okay, so this becomes equal to 355 upon 12 minus 196 upon 9. I think we need to take 36 as LCM. So 3 times this will be 350 into 3 is 1050. Yes, so 1065, and this to be multiplied by 4. So it will be 800 minus 12, 788, I think. 784 actually. 784. 16 I have to subtract. 784. Okay, so if we calculate it here, okay, so this will be 1065 minus 784, so it will be 1 here, then 6 minus 8 is 8, 16 minus 8 is 8, 9 minus 7 is 2, so 281 upon 36 is the answer, that is M upon N, and I think they are coprime, because they are asking this M and N are coprime, because this is multiple of 3, 281 is not multiple of 3, and it is odd, it is even, so I think they are coprime, so sum of these will be, I think, 370. 1 plus 6, 7, 3 plus 8, 1, 11 actually, so 317 will be the answer of this question. Coming to the next question, that is from vectors. If a unit vector A makes angle pi by 3 with I cap, oh, that's very easy, I think. A is cos pi by 3 I cap, cos pi by 4 j cap, and some cos theta with z direction, so cos theta into k cap. Okay, theta with k cap. Then possible value of theta is, and theta is within 0 to pi. Because A is the unit vector, so magnitude has to be 1. So magnitude of this will be equal to cos pi by 3 is, I think, 1 by 2, so it will be 1 by 4 plus 1 by root 2 square, so 1 by 2 plus cos square theta. I have done the squaring also, so you no need to make the under root sign here. So cos square theta is equal to 1 upon 4. Okay, so from this cos theta will be equal to 1 upon root 2 or minus 1 upon root 2. There are two possibilities. Okay, in fact, there are given two answers, because we are given theta from 0 to pi. For this, it can be pi by 4 also, and for this, it can be 3 pi by 4 also. But in these options given, I think pi by 4 is there, 3 pi by 4 is not there. So possible value of theta is B. Okay, I think answer is wrong here, pi by 3, or maybe I have done something wrong. One minute. Oh, that was the mistake. It is 1 by 4, then it has to be 1 by 2 or minus 1 by 2 only, na? Yeah. This will be 1 by 2 or minus 1 by 2. So then cos theta will be, for this case, it will be pi by 3, and for this case, it will be 2 pi by 3. Okay, so pi by 3 is there. No, pi by 3 is not there. 2 pi by 3 is there. No other option is matching. So answer here is D. Okay, please be careful while doing such errors. I think it comes under the category of silly error actually. The remainder when x is divided by 4 is 3, and the remainder when 2020 plus x power 2022 is divided by 8 is. Okay, when this is divided by 8 is. Now please listen carefully. If x is giving remainder when divided by 4 is, then x can be taken as 4n plus 3 or 4n minus 1 also, it is fine. We can write like this. Okay, then this quantity will be 2020 plus x. Let me write it as x only. Okay, now if you expand it, okay, let us write the last term first, because it's the odd number. So x raised to the power 2022, and then second last term, that will be 2022 c 2021, which is 2022 only, into, then it will be 2020 into x raised to the power 2021, and all other terms will be having at least 2 power on 2020, and because we want to divide it by 8, all numbers are multiple of 8, so 8 into integer I can say directly. In fact, if you look at here, this is multiple of 4, this is even number, say 2m 2n 2k. Okay, so this thing is also multiple of 8, So the whatever remainder we are going to get, we'll get because of this term only. Now, there is no need to say that it is, dividing 4, giving remainder 3. Actually, if I use only the fact that x is odd number, then it's the square of odd number. 2022 is even number, so it's a square of some odd number, and square of odd numbers are always 8k plus 1 form. Whenever you divide them by 8, you get remainder to be 1. Okay, so answer for this question will be 1. Okay, I'll tell you why. For any odd number, the square, if you do, it is 8k plus 1 form. Suppose you are having this number 2n plus 1. So if you do the squaring here, it will be 4n square plus 4n plus 1. Okay, now you can take 4n common. It will be n 4n, so n plus 1 plus 1. Now n will be either even or odd. In both scenarios, this n into n plus 1 will be even number. So you can say it is 8 into k plus 1 types. So from there, your remainder is coming out to be 1. That is some result that you should remember. In fact, you can observe also for all perfect squares of odd numbers, they are always 8k plus 1 form. Okay, it can be done with the help of binomial theorem also. In fact, this is also similar to that only. Next is 47. Answer was 1. Yeah. If the curves cut at right angle, then we have to find 4k power 6, whole k power 6. Okay. Now, in such question, always idea is don't find point of intersection in the beginning. Okay. Assume alpha beta is the point of intersection. Okay. Let us assume this is the point of intersection. Okay. Then let us find dy upon dx for first one. Okay. If I differentiate this with respect to y, I think that is easy, because dx upon dy, if you differentiate with respect to y, it will be 4y cube. So dy upon dx will be equal to 1 upon 4y cube for first curve. For second curve, dy upon dx, if you do, I think I can write y is equal to minus k upon x square. Minus k upon x square, or maybe we can put it in terms of y also. Let us first do in terms of x. So for this, y is equal to k upon x. So dy upon dx will be equal to minus k upon x square. In terms of y, it will become equal to, because xy is equal to this, so x is equal to k upon y, so I think it will be minus y square upon k. Let us check it. X is equal to k upon y, so y square upon k, that's right. Now these two are cutting each other at 90 degree, so product of these two should be equal to minus 1. You can put y as beta also, so 1 upon 4 beta cube into minus beta square upon k is equal to minus 1. From this, we will be getting beta square will get cancelled. So it will be 4k beta is equal to 1. Let us see if it is correct or not. Beta square cancel. So beta 4 beta k minus 1 is also 1. So 4k beta will be equal to 1. So for point of intersection, your beta has to be this thing. Okay. Now if I put this beta into this, this is for beta. Just 1 minute. Okay, let us do one thing. Beta is equal to 1 upon 4k. If I put in, let us say, second one first. In this one, I'll get alpha to be equal to k upon beta, that is equal to 4k square, I think. Yeah, 4k square. Now this alpha beta should satisfy first equation also. So if I put in the first equation, we will get 4k square is equal to 1 upon 4k power 4. Okay, so from this, I think we are getting 4k whole power 6. Actually, I have multiplied by 4 here and divide by 4 here. So we can write like this. So that will be equal to 1. So 4k raised to the power 6 is equal to 4. So answer for this question should be 4. Next is number of points at which the function is non-differentiable is. Okay. Now here we are given 1, 2, 3 modulus sign, and because of mod, we may get point of non-differentiability. Function will still remain continuous, but non-differentiability can be there. Okay. Now please see, for first bracket it is at minus half. For second bracket it is minus 2, where sign will change. And for this, I think it is minus 2 and 1. Okay. The factor, if you do, it is x plus 2, one factor, and x minus 1 other factor. So this will change sign at minus 2 and 1 also. So you can see these two brackets are such that they are changing their sign at minus 2 together. Okay. Now I'll tell you the importance of this thing. -2 here, -half here, and 1 here. Now please see, about 1, if you change your x from 1 minus to 1 plus, I think these two will not change their sign. If they are positive, they will remain positive. If they are negative, they will remain negative. But only this bracket will change its sign. So because of this thing, I think this will be definitely point of non-differentiability. You can make cases and you can check left derivative, right derivative. But here what I'm saying, because this quadratic after 1 and before 1, it will make sudden change. So there will be corner point at 1, you will get point of non-differentiability, and these two are not going to have any change about 1. So they cannot prevent this non-differentiability point. It has to be there. And likewise at -half, which is only because of this mod sign, this or this cannot help you. This will also be point of non-differentiability. Now the question is whether -2 will be point of non-differentiability or not. For that, I think we should do some calculation. Please see, if I take -2 minus, that means before -2, my first bracket will be, I think, negative, although it is not required, but let us still open it. So it will be minus of 2x plus 1. When your x is less than -2, then I think first bracket inside will be negative. So we will write like this. Before -2, this bracket is also going to have negative value. So it will become minus plus 3 into x plus 2. Okay. For this parabola would have been like this, -2 to 1, upward parabola. So before -2, this will take positive value. So it will open like this only. So x square plus x minus 2. Now there is one very interesting thing happening here. Please see, I will not change this -2x plus 1 thing. But if you look at these two things, you will find it is actually becoming x plus 2 whole square. Please see, x plus 2 whole square. X square plus 4x plus 4. Okay. So at -2 minus, before -2, this thing is becoming perfect square, whereas this is -2x plus 1. Now if I go after -2, that is x greater than -2, then my first thing will remain same, minus of 2x plus 1, because just after -2, this will not become positive. I'm talking about -2 slightly more than -2, not after -1/2. So that will remain same. But after -2, you can see this will change its sign. It will be positive. This will also become now negative. So they both will change their signs. So you can see it will become minus of x plus 2 whole square. Okay, because this is also changing sign, this is also changing sign. So minus sign, if I take common, this time it will become x plus 2 whole square. Now you do the differentiation and put x is equal to -2. You will find because of this, your derivative term will be 0, 0. 2 times x plus 2 minus 2 times x plus 2. If you put x is equal to -2, this will be 0, this will be 0. Only because of this you will get derivative for left side also, right side also, but they both will be same, -2, -2. So I think this function will be differentiable at -2, but it is not differentiable at -half and 1. So number of points they are asking will be 2. Now interesting here was that because of both things changing sign at -2 and forming a perfect square, that was important. If it was not perfect square, then maybe we would not have got this kind of scenario. Perfect square, we are getting the change of sign. Because of change of sign, we are getting no change in the derivative value, because +0 or -0, they both are 0 only. So this function is differentiable only at 2 points. Non-differentiable, I think I said differentiable, non-differentiable at 2 points. That A is this, where x, y, z are real numbers such that x plus y plus z is greater than 0 and x, y, z is -2/27. If A square is I3, then the value of I3 is identity matrix of 3 order. Then the value of this we have to find. Okay. Now you can see if A square is equal to I3, that means 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1. In that case, you can see first row, first column will give you x square plus y square plus z square to be equal to 1. xy plus yz plus zx will be equal to 0. Okay, and using these two, we can find x plus y plus z. That comes out to be 1 or -1, but because we are given positive, so it will be +1. So these are the things that we can conclude from this A square, because all other product also will give you either x square plus y square plus z square or xy plus yz plus zx. Okay. Yeah. So that is what we are given. And also we are given x, y, z to be -2/3. So to find this value, I think the easiest method would be that x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz. If you find, I think using that factorization, it will be x plus y plus z. Another bracket is x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus zx. Okay, now this will be equal to 9 into x plus y plus z is 1, and this is also 1 only. So 9 here we are getting, but we were asking only 9 times this thing. Okay, so let us, so this 9 times x cube plus y cube plus z cube and minus 27, and x, y, z they are giving, I think, minus 2 by 7, minus 2 by 27, yeah, minus 2 by 27, minus 2 upon 27, and that is equal to 9. So this will go that side. So this 9 times x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to 7. So answer for this question is 7. Let me tell you about this question. I changed this question a little bit because this value was not that earlier. I chosen this value so that you can get real values of x, y, z. Let me tell you how. See, your sum of roots is 1. Your sum of products of roots is taken 2 at a time is 0, and sum and product of roots is minus 2 upon 27, which means my x, y, z should be roots of a cubic t cube minus t square plus 0 into t plus 2 upon 27. Now I'll leave this for you to check that this cubic has the 3 distinct real roots. So 3 distinct real roots, one of them will be x, then y, then z, like that. So there exists some real values like this. Okay, moving to the next question. I think last question of this paper. We are given a, b, c, okay, and r is a vector. R is a vector such that r cross a is equal to c cross a. I'll tell you some different way for this. Please see. I can write it as r minus c cross a is equal to null vector. This means r is equal to c plus some lambda times a. Actually, one step would be r minus c is parallel to a. It will be lambda times a, and c, if you take that side, so it will be c plus lambda a. So that is one thing that we are getting. Now from this r dot b and making equation, you can get the answer. But I'll tell you one more method. Please see. R can be seen as in the plane of a and c because it is in the linear combination of a and c. And r dot b is 0. That means r is perpendicular to b also. So combining these two, that r dot b equal to 0 and r is equal to this thing, I can write r to be equal to b cross a cross c. R b cross a cross c. This is vector triple product. The significance of this vector is that this final vector r will be perpendicular to this b and it will be in the plane of a and c. Okay, and some k will also be there outside, because if you put k outside some scalar multiple, then also conditions can be satisfied, because still it will be in the plane of a and c, it will be still perpendicular to b. But there is one more thing that you have to take care from here. I'll tell you. Let us first open it. This will be equal to k outside, and how we open this vector triple product? B dot c into a, and then in terms of c, it will be a dot b or b dot a, same thing, into c. So that is the scalar triple product. First with third, then remaining vector a, and inside this bracket, the remaining vector after a, that is c, and then dot of the remaining two, that is a dot b. Okay. Whatever way you remember it, you have to remember this thing because it is important for not only mains, advanced, I think it is much more important. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Now b dot c is what? B dot c is, this is k times b dot c. So 1 plus 1, 2. So 2 into a minus. And what is a dot b? That is 1 minus 2. So minus 1, it will become plus c here. Okay, now my original r was c plus lambda a, whereas we are getting k into 2a plus c. That means my k has to be equal to 1 here. Then only we can have r of this form, c plus lambda a. Okay, so my r has become now c plus 2 lambda, 2a. So that lambda value has we have obtained as 2. You could have done it otherwise also by taking R, because we know A, B, C in terms of lambda, taking dot product with B, making it 0. I think will give you value of lambda also. From there also you can find same thing here. Now they are asking R dot A. So R dot A means it will be C dot A plus 2A square. C dot A means first and last. So 1 minus 2, that is minus 1 plus 1, so 0. Is that so? 1 minus 2. Yeah. No. Yeah, correct. 1 plus 1, 2, 2 minus 2, 0. So that is 0 plus 2 into mod A square. Mod A square is, I think, 6. 4 plus 2, 6. This will be equal to 12. Answer for this should become equal to 12. Okay. A dot C is 0, no? I think I remember some different answer. 1 minus 2. Yeah, correct. Yeah, answer is 12 only. I don't know why I got confused. Okay, so this was the last question. I hope you will like some new methods in this paper, and I'll be back with few more solutions of few more papers. Till then, bye. Take care. Thank you so much.